to make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Yeah, that's right. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Here we are. No Anthony.
Just the two of us today. Welcome back. Another episode of the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. It's your boy T here with the mad scientist, Mr. Mike. It is just the two of us today. Anthony, he's feeling sick. He went out for Halloween, and I think the diagnosis came back. What is it? Full-blown AIDS?
Full-blown AIDS.
Full-blown AIDS. So
we'll keep you updated on that one.
yeah, say your prayers for him. But again, welcome back to the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, where we're just a couple of average bros with above average fantasy football knowledge. So we're here today, just the two of us. We're going to go over this Thursday night recap. It's pretty quick, and then we're going to go over the Week 9 matchups.
Sounds good. Sounds
which is
good.
one word, Mike.
One word?
Matchups is one
no,
word.
I think it's two. I'm not quite sure.
It's one word.
Let's get into last night's game, Thursday night. We got the Niners with the good old, you know who it is.
Hey, it's you, Rick Muffin.
It's Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins coming in. Oh, spilled the Starbucks.
John Gruden's on the sideline like, hey, it's you, Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins. Who is? No one knew who Nick Mullins is. He comes out. He throws for like 250 yards or something like that.
They were talking about
three
him.
touchdowns.
They were talking about him like he was Rain Man or something like that.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, it felt good to see. Like, it's good to see a guy go out there. You know, like no one knows who he is. Everyone's writing him off. You know, he comes out and he just has like the first game in the NFL. And he just has like the game of his life. You know?
He had like a better start than Joe Montana. They were saying, and
yeah. So I mean, good for that guy. I mean, like, you know, they always say, you know, be ready for when your number's called, and that guy just kind of proved, he was ready. You know, undrafted, you know, kind of jumping around from team to team, practice squad here and there, and gets his opportunity. And hey, man, he went out there and he got a dub.
there it is.
He looked well. I saw a couple of tweets. They were saying the Raiders, $100 million coach, $125 million quarterback versus Kyle Shanahan and a third string undrafted quarterback who's making $300,000 or something like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so
Good for him.
anyway, so let's jump on the Niners side real quick. Yeah, Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
Good for him, but when C.J. Beathard comes back, he should just take that job back. The running back situation over there, that got kind of murky. We kind of touched on the Instagram. You know, Breida's kind of like a boom bust RB2. You know, the game script was there. The Raiders had a bad run defense, but he's just so banged up. He's definitely not 100%. He's just been battling so many injuries, throughout the year. So Raheem Mostert, he got some run. He broke off that long 50-yard touchdown run. But just some breaking news today. Mostert was actually placed on the IR. I guess he fractured his arm in that game, so he's going to be out for probably the rest of the season.
Sick.
So that leaves it just pretty much just Breida and Morris now. But like we were saying, Breida's always banged up. He's one hit away. He's one cut away from just falling apart. So how do you feel about this? I'm thinking Alfred Morris needs to kind of be rostered in every league.
I think you're right. I think you should throw him on your roster. Finally, everybody who's been, ever since Jerick McKinnon went out, a lot of people picked up Alfred Morris. Now you might actually get a chance to see that.
Yeah. He's still getting a lot of goal line carries. Like, even when the game was within reach, they brought him out there and he got a goal line carry or two. And, prior to Mostert busting out these last couple weeks, he was like top 10 in carries inside the 5. Alfred Morris was. So, just keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it for you guys too, in case I'm assuming they're going to sign another running back or promote one of the running backs from the practice squad.
Yeah,
but just keep an eye on it, because if Breida was to go down for some reason, I mean, Alfred Morris is kind of like the last man standing there. So, and if he's going to get 15 to 20 touches a game, I know he doesn't look good. He's older, but I mean, if he's last man standing, they got to give the ball to somebody.
Definitely.
So I would definitely hold on to him. If you have Breida, maybe just grab him as like a handcuff if you have some spots. But yeah. So for them, George Kittle, he's probably the number one player on the 49ers that you can feel confident throwing out every single week. Like, set it, forget it. He had a crazy one-handed catch. I didn't know this, but you said he has a...
Yeah, well, that's what they said. He had a chest contusion, but then he came back on the field. So I don't...
Just monitor it.
Yeah, pay attention to it.
Yeah, he should be all right. As far as the wide receivers go, I mean, Marquise Goodwin is just the ultimate boomer bust guy. I think he came out and he had like the first play of the game. They threw a little 10-yard out to him, and he caught a pass. And I was like, okay, like maybe this would be a decent little game for him. And I think that was his only catch for the rest of the game.
He got targeted, but it didn't go his way.
Yeah, he's just too boomer bust. I mean, I don't know if I would trust him. For me personally, I know Garcon had a pretty decent game, but I don't know if I would really trust him either going down the stretch. It'd probably be Kittle in this offense, tight end, set it, forget it every single week. And then Breida, obviously. And that's about it, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if I'd feel confident starting anyone else in this team.
I mean, shit, maybe Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins!
It could be. But they still said they don't know what they're going to do. What's C.J. Beathard's injury?
I think it was something with his wrist or something like that. Like, he couldn't really grab the ball fully, so that's why it was...
Yeah, you might need that.
Yeah, you kind of need that. So, jump on the other side of the ball here. You got the Raiders. They just look, man, this is a dumpster fire. We're from Vegas, and everyone's excited to have a football team here finally, and like they just look like trash. But I mean, I guess what Gruden's doing is he's kind of preparing for when they come to Vegas. He wants to have his team built. So he's coming in. I think he's cleaning house. Obviously, he's just trying to stack up as many draft picks as he can. That way, he can build his team. But in the meantime, this team just looks terrible. I mean, Beast Mode's gone to the IR. Jordy Nelson's just non-existent. He's just not good enough to get open maybe against these number one corners anymore. Martavis Bryant's never on the field. I saw something like he only played like 15% of the snaps last week. He probably only played a couple limited snaps this week. Jared Cook's just up and down every week. It's a roller coaster with him. Doug Martin did look kind of good. He was running good.
Yeah.
He looked pretty good. So, I mean, I guess if you have Doug Martin down the stretch, probably could play him, as like a low-end RB2. The thing with him that just worries me is that the Raiders' defense is so bad, they're always going to be behind. So, like, when that happens, you're going to abandon the run, obviously. And that's kind of where Jalen Richard comes in. He had 4 catches for, like, 45 yards yesterday. They pulled him in, like, after the 3 quarters because they were just getting shellacked. But going forward, he'd probably be a guy who I would feel more comfortable in, especially PPR leagues. Because, like I said, we're always talking about he actually leads that team in receptions. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That a running back leads the team in receptions?
Especially like with Jared Cook.
Yeah. I mean, he had Amari Cooper there at one point. You got Jordy Nelson. I mean, it's like, no, this backup running back or like this third down pass catching running back leads the team in receptions. So PPR wise, Jalen Richard, he'd probably be like a flex play going forward. So just keep an eye on him.
Definitely.
Do you want to jump into these matchups then?
Yeah, let's go right into it.
All right. So first game we got the Detroit Lions. They're at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are -5, and the over/under is 49. Starting the Lions side of the ball here. So Stafford, I don't know how I feel about Stafford in this matchup. I got some notes on him right here. So
I don't feel that great about it.
Yeah, me neither. I would probably be trying to bench Stafford, or I don't think he'd be in my top 12 this week. So in the last 5 games versus the Vikings, he's only thrown for 7 touchdowns. So that's 1.2, 1.3 touchdowns. That's not very good. So, and in the last 4 weeks, the Vikings are the 6th best pass defense. So they're picking it up, and they also are getting one of their best defensive linemen back, Griffin Everson or something like that, or Everson.
Well,
Griffin
dude, Xavier Rhodes is just, now that they don't have the 3-headed monster that we always talked about, he has limited options to throw to. You got Xavier Rhodes that's going to be on somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine him having a spectacular game.
Yeah. So another note on Stafford, he's only finished as a top 12 quarterback this year 1 time. So in all the games he's played, he's only finished inside the top 12 once. So now he's going on the road against a Vikings defense that is getting one of their best pass rushers back, who's turned it up pretty lately. Yeah. They just got beat by the Saints, so they're going to want to come out and get a division win here. Yeah, I'd be worried for Stafford in this game. I would probably be fading him.
For sure.
Hopefully you have a better option. It's tough. You got 6 teams on a bye here, so you might be forced to throw him out there. Just know that the matchup on paper is not very good for him. Jump into the running backs here. Kerryon Johnson. I mean, he's just...
I think just with Golden Tate being gone, you might see a little bit more run here.
Yeah.
Than in previous weeks.
Yeah, I kind of touched on it in one of the episodes. I feel like this coach is a defensive-minded coach. Maybe he's trying to shift the culture there from, let's build a solid defense. Let's run the ball. Let's not throw the ball 50 times a game. Andrew Luck status.
Right.
So maybe that is what it is, because they traded away Golden Tate. Kerryon Johnson, it's just another tough game for him. Like I said, the Vikings defense they're turning it on lately these last couple weeks. I had something on Kerryon Johnson over here. So the Vikings run defense is really good. They're top 5 in yards per carry, and they're top 5 in yards per games allowed. So they're stout. And like I said, they're getting one of their best defensive linemen back as well. In the games that they've played, only Todd Gurley has rushed for more than 60 yards against them. So no running back has had more than 60 yards against the Vikings except for Gurley, and we all know Gurley's like
that's just
good.
That's just Gurley being Gurley.
Yeah. So the thing with Kerryon that's kind of been helping him this last couple games too is Theo Riddick's been out. So that's the primary pass catching running back for the Detroit Lions. He's been out the last couple games. He's banged up. He's been practicing this week. He's limited. He should come back, but it's not 100%. But it's looking like he's going to come back. But the point of what I'm trying to make here is when he was out, Kerryon Johnson was seeing a huge uptick in targets. I think he went from I know it's not that much, from going from 3 targets a game to 6 targets a game, but I mean those 3 extra targets are.
I mean that's double.
It's double. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. So Theo Riddick's supposed to be back. We've been hearing some, rumors that possibly they throw Theo Riddick into the slot where Golden Tate was, because there was a season where Theo Riddick had 80 catches at one point, so he can catch the ball really good. And they have plays where they line him up out there in the slot in certain formations. So that could be an option where maybe they have both these running backs out here. Maybe they realize, hey, both these guys are good. We need them both on the field at the same time. So just kind of monitor that. But yeah, this is a tough matchup for all the fucking line players here. So like I said, 6 teams on a bye, but it would just be temper. If they don't come out and they don't put up these, huge numbers, just know that it's a tough matchup on the road, division game in Minnesota. So jumping over to the receiver side, like you said, Xavier Rhodes. The roads are closed, huh?
Yeah. He good.
He good. He's going to shadow one of those guys, Marvin Jones or
What does it look like right now?
Everything I've been seeing is it's going to be Marvin Jones because that's who he shadowed last year when they played twice. But then also that was Kenny Golladay was a rookie and he wasn't as good as he was now.
Right.
Me personally, I would shadow Golladay. I would put him on Golladay.
Well, I mean, you would think that with when the Saints played the Vikings, they didn't shadow Adam Thielen. They had P.J. Williams on Adam Thielen instead of Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, because a lot of these corners that shadow, they won't go into the slot.
Yeah.
And that's where Thielen lines up majority of the time. So,
but my point is like you would think with how good Thielen is, they would do that. But this could be the same case where Kenny Golladay is good, and they should. I feel like he should line up against him, but he's not going to. I think he's going to be on Marvin Jones.
Yeah. So yeah, like a lot of the beat reporters are saying that he is going to line up on Marvin Jones. So just in case that is true, I mean Xavier Rhodes has been pretty good this year. He's only allowed 1 touchdown all season against him. So if he does guard Marvin Jones, like I said, it's tough. You probably have to start these guys. He'd probably be like a low end wide receiver 2 for me. Like Anthony was saying, like Golden Tate's gone, so now that frees up 9 to 10 targets per game that are unaccounted for since Golden Tate's gone. So those targets got to go somewhere. And for sure, Galladay's going to get some. Marvin Jones is going to get some. They have another slot receiver. I think his name's Brandon Powell, so he might get some run. They have another receiver, T.J. Jones. I'm sure he'll probably get a little bit of run. We'll see what happens with Theo Riddick. Maybe they get Kerryon Johnson involved more in the passing game as well, so just keep an eye on that. But these targets got to go somewhere. So, and Anthony touched on it too. Marvin Jones is I think he leads the league in red zone targets or end zone targets is what it is. So, I mean, all it takes is 1 catch, boom, touchdown. PPR league, that's 7 points right there automatically. So, I mean, I guess if you have to start these guys, who would you feel more comfortable starting, Jones or Golladay?
Golladay.
I would say Golladay too. But, I mean, we'll see who. It would probably be whoever Rhodes doesn't shadow. That's who I'd feel comfortable with. But like I said, all the reports are thinking that it's going to be Rhodes on Marvin Jones. So I would think a bigger game from Golladay. Yeah.
Golladay, call it a day on Marvin Jones, if you know what I'm saying. Let's jump over to the Viking side. Anything else you want to touch on?
No.
Playing that tight end?
No, definitely not.
Okay. Let's go to the Viking side. Kirk Cousins. I like him.
I play him. I mean, the Viking the Lions defense isn't anything to be worried about. So I would definitely be, Kirk Cousins. He's at home. I mean, when you got Thielen, who's getting 100 yards every game, it's his money.
Yeah.
They got good weapons there. Thielen, Diggs, Rudolph. He's been low key, like he hasn't seen as much, but he's still a good tight end.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook's supposed to be coming back too, so maybe a couple passes here and there. So yeah, for sure, I'd be dialing up Kirk Cousins. Speaking of Dalvin Cook, so yeah, he is supposed to come back this week. They were saying he has been practicing, hamstring. The thing with
They
him
said
is
they're going to give him limited touches, though.
limited touches.
That's what they said.
Yeah. I think he doesn't feel 100% about his hamstring, so he wants to make sure he's okay.
Well, yeah, last time they said limited touches. That was when he ended up hurting his hamstring again. So I think they're going to be extra careful this time.
Yeah. How many touches do you think he would probably see?
Maybe like I feel like I don't know, man, like 10.
That's probably what I would be thinking.
Yeah. I still think he'll get more than like a third string guy coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't. It's not like I don't think they're gonna give him like 5 rushing. I think they're still gonna give him a good amount. I feel like 10's not that bad. Like,
yeah, no, I would probably say like 8 to 10 total touches with like receptions and rushes. That'd probably be like my guess, but we're not NFL coaches, so what do we know? But but that'd be my guess. If you had him, would you start him? Just knowing that, like, okay, here's a guy. He has the upside of being good, but if he's on like limited touches, it kind of caps your ceiling.
I'd probably end up, if I had a Dalvin Cook, I'd probably be antsy and I would end up playing him. But my guts tell me not to. I wouldn't play Dalvin Cook this week.
Yeah. I mean, it would suck for him to go out there and him re-aggravate it and like he gets 3 carries for 20 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, fuck, Maybe it's a better thing to just see it first and then throw him out there.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You've probably made trades if you have Dalvin Cook and just play those safer running backs that you've ended up picking up over him, and then it's okay if you have some points on the bench. I couldn't see him getting like 20 to 30 points in this game.
No, definitely not. Especially Latavius Murray's been over there. He's been balling. He's had back-to-back 20-plus point games, so he's not going anywhere. I think he sees around 15 to 18 touches probably. And, if like when they're getting close, like I would assume they're going to give Latavius Murray the goal line carries, not Dalvin Cook. So me personally, if I had Dalvin Cook, I would probably be fading him this week. If, you have some other options, maybe you don't though. Maybe you're super thin and you got buys, injuries, whatever. You need to throw him out there. Just know that he's going to be on a limited count. So, and like I said, don't expect him to go out there and put up 20 points.
Right.
So, I mean, Murray's going to get, like I said, 15 to 18 touches probably. He would be the running back I would want to start of the two going for that. Ding. Nailed it.
Bam.
Okay, so jumping over to the wide receivers here, you got Stephon Diggs. Just monitor Diggs because he's limited or he's sat out of practice the last couple of days. I guess he's having some rib injury, like he has a rib injury or something like that. Even if he does play, I'm kind of worried about this matchup because he's going to be shadowed by Darius Slay, and he's one of the premier corners in the league. He'll follow him all over the field. So this is a really bad matchup for Diggs here. He's banged up, not 100%, and then now he's going to get one of the top corners in the league just following him around the field everywhere he goes. So I'm worried for Diggs here. As far as Thielen goes, he's another 100 yards, probably dial it up.
Yeah.
Especially if Diggs is going to have a tough matchup. I think Thielen just eats. One guy was saying that he thinks Thielen's going to break the total receptions in one game record this week because Diggs is hurt and he's going to be shadowed by Darius Slay. So,
damn, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. So Thielen, you're locked. You can throw him in there. It's kind of just interesting for Kyle Rudolph now because if Diggs is kind of being shadowed, he's on 100%. These targets got to go somewhere. The Lions, they're not the greatest against tight ends. I thought I had something written down on him, but yeah, the Lions are not the greatest against defending tight ends here. So, Rudolph, he's a red zone threat, big body guy. So if I had Rudolph, I'd be throwing him this week, especially you got 6 teams on a bye. I saw a crazy stat on the tight ends here. It was talking about how like outside of like Ertz, Kelsey, and OJ Howard or something like that, like and Gronk, like tight end 5 to tight end like 12 is only like a 1.5 difference like per game. So it's like nothing crazy. Like, yeah. So like the difference between like tight end 5 and tight end like 12 is like nothing. It's like 1 point. It's like 1 catch, 10 yards.
Yeah.
Like it's
that's just how much of a crapshoot it is when you're playing these tight ends.
Yeah. So, I mean,
CJ Uzoma and freaking And who else got 0 duds last week?
Yeah, and Joku got 0.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you have Rudolph, go ahead and throw him out there. He's probably better than anyone you're going to find on the waiver wire. So I would for sure feel confident throwing him out there. Like I just said, Diggs is banged up. He's got a tough matchup. Go ahead and start Rudolph. For the defense here, Vikings defense, I'd play them at home. Like I just said, Stafford's only had 1 game inside the top 12 as a quarterback. He's averaging barely over 1 passing touchdown per game. I would definitely be dialing up the Vikings defense in this game as well. All right, let's jump on to the next matchup. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Cleveland Browns. The Chefs are -8, and the over-under is 52.
Big over-under. Huh.
Big over-under, yeah,
Pretty high.
yeah. Chefs, Mahomes, down them up. I feel like everyone on the Chiefs every week is just everyone.
Yeah.
You're starting everyone. We kind of touched on last week on Sammy Watkins. Like could you start him? Could you not? We said, yeah, if this is a high-powered offense, you want to throw him. And what did he put up there? He put
like 26 in full PPR.
Yeah. Would he have like 100 yards, 2 touchdowns?
Yeah,
like that?
he had 2.
Crazy. So, he Watkins has like those bust games too, where maybe he doesn't get, come out and blow up. But, he has that potential of where he could put 30 burger on the board for you. So, I can't imagine you just sitting him after he does that.
Especially, yeah.
Yeah. I know Tyreek Hill's been kind of banged up. I think it was like a groin injury or something. So just monitor that. I think he should play. But, if he didn't play, then Sammy Watkins would probably be like a top 10 play just with the volume. Because I would assume that he would get a ton of targets.
Way more.
Yeah. So,
or even, what's his name? Harris. Demetrius Harris.
Who's
Possibly.
that, the tight end?
No, he's another receiver. Pretty sure.
Demarcus Robinson? Chris Conley?
No.
Harris is a tight end.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
Remember before we recorded, I was like, I just don't want to sound stupid today. Well, there it is, baby, on the
Put
second
him on
matchup.
the board. Got him. But yeah, you're starting everyone on the Chiefs. How do you feel about this? Since you're this, the mad scientist with the streaming defenses, would you stream the Chefs' defense here against a rookie quarterback? They are on the road though.
No.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Especially with the high over under.
Yeah, that's why. That's basically why.
Yeah,
dude. Anytime I see like an over under that's 50 or more, I usually kind of stay away from playing those defenses.
Just be careful, because I know the Chiefs. They've had a couple good games when they were at home. Their defense put up some pretty solid points. But yeah, they're on the road. They're in Cleveland. It's different. Playing in Kansas City compared to playing on the road is way different. And like I said, the Chiefs defense is not very good. I would be fading them. Let's jump into the Cleveland Browns side of the ball here. So they finally, if you're a Browns fan, you're probably happier than a pig in shit, as they say, that Hugh Jackson got fired. Finally. But then they fired, what's his name too, right?
Todd Haley, yeah.
I don't understand.
You ever saying that the other podcast? It's like, I don't get it. Play freaking 8 games.
Yeah.
When you're actually like a good offensive coordinator, but I don't know.
Yeah, what do we know?
What do we know, dude? I ain't a doctor.
All right, so no more Hugh Jackson. Thank God, right? If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you're probably super happy. That guy was just an idiot. I don't understand. You're like a coach. I was telling Anthony the other day, like you're a coach, and like they would ask him, like, so Hugh, like at this point in the game, like you ran this play, or this happened, or like this player didn't play, like what? Why not? Or what happened? And he'd be like, I don't recall. Like you're a fucking professional coach, bro. You're out there watching every single play. How do you not remember? Like. He's just an idiot.
Yeah, it'd be like if I was coaching a NFL team.
Yeah,
I'd probably be just as bad.
Anyways, all right, so let's get to these players. So you got Baker Mayfield. I'm torn with Mayfield. It's like the matchups are good for him, but he's just been. He's having these rookie woes, I guess you want to call him. Would you feel comfortable in dialing him up, streaming him this week?
No.
The Chiefs defense.
I feel like when you ask me stuff, I'm just like, nah.
Well, Chiefs defense not very good. They're on the road.
Yeah.
So Browns are at home. You got to assume the Chiefs are going to score some points. So the Browns should be in catch-up mode.
I don't know. I feel like Chiefs are one of those teams that like right now everybody says they're not a good defense, but then you see time and time again that people still not being able to put points up against them. But.
I'll just see, like Baker Mayfield, just top of your head. You would Stafford or Mayfield? I think I'd go Mayfield there. I'd take a gamble.
I would do Baker probably there.
All right, let's go Mayfield over Alex Smith. I'd go Alex Smith on this one, just because I've seen some stats against the Falcons. It's kind of similar to why I started Eli Manning against the Falcons. Is why I would pick Alex Smith over Baker.
I'd probably end up going Alex Smith, but it would be a toss-up, though.
Yeah. Baker or Trubisky?
Trubisky.
See, I think Trubisky's been balling better, but we'll touch on him when we get to that matchup as well. I think I might go Mayfield over this one just because the game script.
The over-under is
the game,
37.
yeah, the game script for Trubisky won't be as good as the game script for Mayfield. Let's just do one more. Mayfield or Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson. I'd probably go Wilson.
Yeah, I'd go Russell Wilson.
Because it's week 9.
Yeah. All right, so like you said right there, he's probably like, I don't know, he's maybe middle of the pack, 15th, 16th ranked quarterback, somewhere around there. So, I mean, the game script should be there for him to want to throw the ball. It's just, can he get it done? And we'll see how this new coordinator comes in. So the new coordinator's, I think his name is Freddie Kitchens. He's part of the Bruce Arians offense.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious to see how this offense looks with him in there. I mean, when I think of the Bruce Arians offense, I think of David Johnson catching a ton of fucking balls. Okay, so now that's Duke Johnson's role. Does Duke Johnson finally see an uptick in targets and, get more involved in the game? I mean, they signed that guy in the offseason. I can't, like, they're not using that guy right. So
yeah,
they definitely need to get more involved. Like I just said, think of like the Cardinals' old offense. You got David Johnson catching a ton of balls. That's Duke Johnson. Also, Larry Fitz would line up in the slot a ton. That's Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
So are these
kind of similar players too?
Yeah, kind of similar players. So, I mean, you're definitely dialing up Landry. He's second in the league in targets. I think he has 94, and then Thielen leads the league in targets. He's got 96. So, I mean, Landry's getting like 10 plus targets every single game. You're definitely starting him. It's a good matchup. They should be behind. So dial him up. Top 15 play, especially PPR. No other receivers. Njoku, I'll be starting him. I know you got a goose egg for you there, but you got to start him. Yeah, it just happens. For me, this is my own personal opinion. I didn't watch any of the film, but I'm thinking the reason that Njoku got taken away is that the Steelers were coming off a bye. They probably did a ton of tape on Mayfield, and they saw, hey, man, this guy's targeting Njoku 10 plus times a game. Yeah. This is like his go-to guy. Let's eliminate him, and then he's lost.
Right.
So that's just my opinion. I think that's might have what happened. So I would definitely feel comfortable starting Njoku this game. I would actually try to trade for him on the low right now. If someone's pissed off, you got a goose egg for them.
Trade him.
I would for sure go and try and trade for Njoku. So you probably get him super low now compared to in the past when he had those 3 weeks of over 10 plus points. For the running backs, Chubb, starting him right.
Yeah.
Full Chubb,
dude.
Full Chubb. 18 carries in both games so far, so he's getting the volume.
Workload.
Yeah, we always talking about the volume. And then just to touch back on Duke Johnson. So he'd probably be a desperation. It's just tough to trust Duke Johnson because he's been so up and down. He's been really bad and inconsistent. I think he's just not getting the touches. So we'll see how it works. But like I said, game script
He could get more touches with the new OC.
Yeah. And then game script, they're going to be behind. So, I mean, why not? Throw him out there for a flex. If you're in a pinch, you got no one else to throw out there. Maybe, you got some players injured, waiver buys and no one on your team. Duke Johnson's out there on the waiver wire. I mean, why not? Just take a dart throw on him, see what happens. So, let's jump to the next game. We got your Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are -3. The over-under is 47.5.
We need this game because we lost to Baltimore and Pittsburgh already.
How do you feel about it?
I don't know. I'm hyped, I guess.
Yeah, I'm hyped,
bro. Still no sign of Le'Veon Bell. We'll start on the Steelers side. Still no sign of Le'Veon Bell. Big Ben has the fractured left finger, but they somehow said he's not on the injury report. I don't know how you fracture your finger on Sunday and you're not on the injury report 3 days later, but it is on his left hand. He's right-handed. He's not like Pat Mahomes. He doesn't throw left-handed randomly.
Yeah.
So I think Big Ben should play. I don't like him this week, though, against Baltimore in Baltimore. I think he's going to probably have a pretty shitty game. And then, it's going to be tough for Steelers offense. I think James Conner, even their rush defense is pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So James Conner might have a hard time this week, but I still think you got to line him up. Let's go to tight ends. Vance McDonald, still trucking people over.
Just ending people's careers.
What do you think?
Yeah, so for me, Big Ben, you talking about he's got these home road splits. He plays really bad. So just some numbers on Ben. The Ravens allow the fewest points to quarterbacks in Baltimore. So they're allowing an average of 9 points to quarterbacks. That's not good.
Ben is not going to have a good game this week.
The Ravens allow the second fewest yards per game to quarterbacks. And in the last 5 games Big Ben has played in Baltimore, his stats are 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So that's not good. So I'd probably be fading him. I know when he played in Pittsburgh against them, he didn't have a good game.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like, I just cannot see him. Especially he just like, I know it's on his left hand, but he just hurt himself.
Yeah.
That kind of going through with any type of pain, he's got to still catch the ball out of the huddle or out of the off the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't see him having a good game this week.
James Conner, I mean, you got to start him. He's playing crazy good. Maybe just like said, it's a tougher matchup. The Ravens are like top 5 in rushing defense. So, but yeah, you got to start him. Juju, you're starting him. AB, you're starting him. Tight end Vance McDonald. So he's available in 50% of leagues still. But I mean, if you need a tight end, go grab him. It's just some numbers I've kind of punched on Vance McDonald. Right here. So in the Ravens' last 4 games, they've allowed 70 or more receiving yards to the tight end. So the potential's there for him to have a good game. The Ravens also allow the 8th most yards to tight ends, and they've allowed the 5th most receptions in the league to tight ends. So maybe this is a Vance game here. So I'm starting Vance in a couple leagues. I picked him up off the waiver wire in one league. And I'm just chucking him right into my lineup starting. For sure. So just some good numbers there. Like I said, the 5th most receptions allowed to tight ends. So if you're in a PPR league, he should have a safe floor.
Definitely.
Jump to the other side of the ball. Ravens. Joe Flacco.
No.
Not today.
No. Joe Hayden's been doing pretty good too.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel about Flacco. They throw the ball a ton. I know that. Definitely, I don't know. I probably wouldn't play Flacco.
Even in Baltimore.
To the running backs here real quick. You got this kind of got like, now you have like a 3-headed monster almost. Kind of like, they traded for Ty Montgomery.
Do you think Ty Montgomery will actually see a lot of reps this week?
I don't
either.
I think he's still learning the system. Still, like, learn the plays, all that stuff like that. So you just see Alex Collins and Buck Allen, their normal roles. Probably, I'm sure Montgomery maybe get out there a couple here and there, maybe some pass plays, their downs and stuff. I highly doubt he gets any rushes.
He could be a receiver.
Yeah, I highly doubt he gets any rushes. But just some numbers on the Ravens running back. So the Steelers have only allowed 3 rushing touchdowns, and they allow the 6th fewest rushing yards per game. So they only allow 95 rushing yards per game. So now if you got to split that between Buck Allen and Alex Collins, I don't like that. I don't like the upside here. The ceiling isn't very high. The floor is pretty low.
And Steelers have probably one of the better rush defenses in the league.
Yeah, they're definitely
top 5.
Yeah, they're up there for sure. So just a bad matchup for these Ravens running backs here. Just to keep an eye on that. For the wide receivers, you got Crabtree, you got John Brown, you got Willie Snead. I low key kind of like John Brown.
Yeah,
he's had a couple good games. Snead's kind of sneaky good too. He's so for Willie Snead, if you need like a flex guy or something like that, maybe like a wide receiver 3. So Willie Snead, he lines up in the slot 83% of the time, and the Steelers allow the 3rd most points to the slot. So the potential is there. It's a good matchup on paper.
Really Snead? Really he get into end zone?
So
I like
also
that.
For me, for Crabtree, I'm a big Crabtree guy. He hasn't had the touchdowns, but he's been getting targets. So Crabtree, he's in wide receivers. He has the 10th
start.
Yeah, he has the 10th most targets for wide receivers. He has 8 or more targets in 6 of the 8 games, and he has 10 plus PPR points in 6 of the 8 games.
Which is some receivers that you're starting that aren't even getting that many targets.
Yeah, so he's getting a ton of targets. He does have a hard matchup. I think last time when they played in Pittsburgh, he only had like 3 for 31. I think he lined up on Joe Hayden a good amount, and he's been better than normal. So maybe limit the expectations for him. But just like I said, he's the 10th in the league in targets. So, and just a side note here, the Ravens have the easiest schedule going forward for quarterbacks. So Joe Flacco has the easiest remaining schedule for quarterbacks. So You're telling me this quarterback has the easiest schedule going forward. Now he has a receiver on his team that has the 10th most targets in the whole league. I kind of want a piece of that. Just me personally.
Yeah, I want a piece of that.
I mean, even if it's John Brown, you get John Brown. You know, John Brown's top 20, top 15 receiver right now, I think. Like I said, Willie Snead, go get him too. He's a good matchup. So, tight ends here. You can't throw on the Steelers for the tight end, but there's just too many tight ends here. I like Hayden Hurst. I'm waiting for Hayden Hurst to ball out. His snaps percentage has been going up every week.
Yeah.
But it's still nothing crazy. He's still splitting with like Mark Andrews and Nick Boyle, Max Williams, like those guys. So it's still murky for me.
Too much.
Yeah, it's still murky for me.
Too much going
But
on.
like I said, down the stretch, maybe Hayden Hurst emerges and he starts to see majority of the snaps. Then maybe go get him because, like I said, Flacco's got the easiest schedule remaining, so that only helps the tight ends and that only helps the wide receivers down the stretch. All right, let's jump into the next game. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are -6.5. The over/under is 55. Let me ask you something, Mike.
Tell me.
Do you believe in magic?
Do I believe in magic? And the young boys, young girls or young boys hot. Jesus Murphy.
Fitzpatrick.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, I'm streaming him this week.
Are you?
Yes, I definitely am.
I like that. Yeah, I saw something like if you were to like combine Fitzpatrick's numbers and Jameis Winston's numbers, and you made them like
A super quarterback.
if
they were one person.
if
you just count Tampa Bay's quarterback stats
Yeah.
combined.
Like if Winston and Fitzpatrick fucked, then that quarterback would be the number 2 quarterback in the NFL. It would go Mahomes and then that super baby
Super baby.
and then everyone else underneath them. So he has the potential there. And like we're just always talking about the reason why the Buccaneers quarterback has,
This opportunity.
opportunities because their defense is just so bad.
Yeah. They're just like, oh my God, they scored again. Just
Hug it,
throwing the
chug
ball
it.
like crazy.
Football.
So
But yeah, I would definitely feel confident throwing Fitzpatrick out there. Just some other stats I kind of just off the top of my head is like I know like Fitzpatrick he like leads the NFL in air yards. So that means that when he's throwing the ball, how far is it going in the area for yards? It's over 10 yards. So he's number
Definitely.
1 in that. And the Panthers give
You know what I
up
like
the
about
third
that?
most deep completions in the league. So that's Deshaun Jackson.
Ooh.
That's Mike Evans right there all day. So
Ooh, you're making me all excited.
you're like, ooh, I like this stream now.
Oh yeah.
Is it really streaming if you're
Nah.
starting the second best quarterback? in a
Yeah,
sense?
not really. Well, it's just their offense is just they have so many options.
Yeah. So yeah, start him up.
Running back.
Running
Let's
backs, I
not
don't know.
start 'em
You know
up.
me, I'm not a big fan of this backfield. I think Ronald Jones is banged up, so you got
have
Peyton
the-
Barber getting majority of the touches, but
Yeah, so now Peyton Barber,
don't-
instead
I
of
don't like
getting
it.
5 touches, he might get 10 touches.
this is just yucky.
yuck. Ewy.
Yuck. I don't like it. So, I mean, if you have to throw him out there, go for it, but I definitely don't. I'm not a big fan of this backfield, so... like we said, just touch on the receivers here. The Panthers, they give up the 3rd most deep completions in the league. So you're dialing up Deshaun Jackson. He's a wide receiver too. Mike Evans, he does his thing. Name I want to touch on is Godwin. So
I'm streaming him this week.
yeah, so Godwin, when Fitzpatrick is in the game, he's actually bless you.
Ugh.
So
Pardon.
Chris Godwin. So when Fitzpatrick is the quarterback, Godwin has been the number 2 option, low key. So I mean, it's been Mike Evans obviously, and then Godwin is second in the team in targets, and then Deshaun Jackson. So, and Godwin, he's had 5+ receptions in 4 of the 7 games, and he's had a touchdown in like 4 or 5 of the 7 games as well. So he's a red zone guy.
God.
He's got 12 targets inside the 10. So it's, I mean, when they're looking for him when they get close.
Yo,
So I
you're
would
hyping
definitely-
up my rock. Like, I got all these guys lined up, and you're hyping me up right now,
Dog,
dude.
that's
Let's get
what
some points.
That's what I'm here for, bro.
Let's get some points, dude. Yeah, I feel comfortable starting. I mean, Panthers have a decent defense, but I still feel comfortable starting most of these receivers.
They're just going to be in catch-up mode. They're constantly going to be throwing the ball. So, I mean, if Fitzpatrick threw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns again, I would not be surprised.
By the way, I know were you here for when we made the Cam Newton bet?
No.
Okay, we'll touch on that. I guess would you play Bucks defense?
Definitely. You're never playing the Bucks defense.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
I
I would rather get a dirty Sanchez than play Bucks defense.
That's yucky too.
Yucky.
That's as yucky as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right,
backfield.
so we'll just touch on the tight ends here real quick too. I'm kind of missing on some notes.
Jordan Reed.
But Jordan, you mean OJ Howard?
OJ Howard, pardon.
Yeah, so OJ Howard, you're starting him. He's been sneaky good. I think he's had like 55 or 60 yards every single game he's played, and he's actually the highest graded tight end per Pro Football Focus. So,
And I would be fading Cameron Brate.
yeah, I'd be fading Cameron Brate. So some numbers that compared to Winston, compared to Fitzpatrick. When Fitzpatrick's out there, he targets OJ Howard way more than Cameron Brate. Brate and Winston have like this bromance, so he kind of sees a couple more targets. But when Fitzpatrick's out there, Brate doesn't see any targets. So
Cut to Brate, 2 touchdowns and 80 yards.
Seriously. So yeah, OJ Howard, start him with confidence. This should be a shootout right here. Let's jump over to the other side. You got Killer Cam. He's just doing his thing.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He did get a rushing touchdown because I made a bet with Anthony that Cam Newton would hit the left or the right pylon, or I can't remember which one it was, but on a rushing touchdown. He didn't. He almost tripped over a pylon, but it was the left pylon. So, but he did get a rushing touchdown. So I feel like I kind of get that bet.
You kind of get a beer?
Yeah, like
at least a beer, right?
instead of like the case. Yeah.
Hey, you're making a case to not get a case, but to get a beer.
Yeah. Puns.
I like that about you. Yeah, so Killer Cam, you down him. Like I said, whenever you're playing against, there's certain defenses. When you're playing against the Falcons, you're playing against the Buccaneers, certain defense like that. You're starting everybody. So you're starting Cam, you're starting Greg Olsen, you're starting Christian McCaffrey. These receivers here, you're starting Funches. DJ Moore, he kind of came onto the scene. He's the rookie they drafted in the first round this year. Sneaky star here. So the Bucs, they allowed the third most points to wide receivers. So, I mean, the thing with DJ Moore that helped him last week is Torrey Smith was out, so he saw an uptick in snaps. He saw an uptick in targets. He still hasn't had more than 6 targets in a game, but still, they're getting him involved in the rushing, jet sweeps and stuff like that. He's a sneaky play right here. If you want to throw him in there like a dart throw flex play, I mean, go for it. Like I said, this defense is not very good. The Buccaneers, they're just giving it up. They're just giving it up.
Giving it up. How about running back situation? Cam Newton? Oh, he's a quarterback. Forgot.
Killer Cam.
No, I was saying running back. Let's talk about running backs. Cam Newton. Bro, do you even listen, dog?
No.
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey, yeah. You're starting everybody in this matchup. McCaffrey, he's top 10 play. Like Funches, I think he had a bad game last week, but I would feel comfortable starting Funches. Like I said, Greg Olsen, you're starting him. The name that would be like on the fringe would be DJ Moore, but I would feel probably comfortable throwing him at least in a flex. If you want to take a shot, the upside's there. Like I said, the Bucs, they allow the third most points to wide receivers, so why not? I mean, you got 6 teams on a bye. You know, for some of these teams, I was looking at one of my opponents, and he had like everyone on a bye. Like he went out and picked up like Cole Beasley and like I don't know, just the worst players, and I'm thinking like, man, he's hurting.
You should just take the L.
Yeah.
At that point,
just take the L.
If you really have that many buys, it's just like, okay, this is it. I lost.
Yeah. So, you're starting everyone on the Panthers side. Panthers defense, I'd probably be fading them just because the potential for the Bucs to put up some points, it would hurt your defense here. Let's jump into the next game. We got the New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are -2.5. The over-under is 43.5. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm nervous for this game. I like the Jets. Just because our offensive line's not good and the Jets' defensive front seven is pretty good, so I'm low-key nervous about this game. Division game 2. The over-under is pretty low, 43 points. I don't know. I mean, how do you feel? How do you feel about it? You like anyone from this game? Let's start on the Jets side of the bowl.
I like the Jets defense.
Jets defense. Is that your stream of the week?
Yeah.
I like that. I picked the Jets. Like I said, I'm a Dolphins fan, and I picked up the Jets defense in, I think, 2 leagues.
Yeah.
So I definitely like that. Hey, Donald. You're not playing him. A name for me that I do like, though, in this matchup for the Jets is Isaiah Crowell. And I know you're probably thinking I'm crazy. Crowell, he's been all over the place. He's had those crazy good games where he's put up like 20, 30 points, though, you know? Then he's had some games where he's put up like 2.
Yeah.
So
for a while, it was literally like 25, 3, 30, 4. Like, it was so irritating.
Up and down. So I think this is a game where it goes back up to like 20-plus points. So
wow. Oh, my God.
No more below Powell. He's out. Neck injury. He's on the IR. They did activate Elijah McGuire, so he should get some run, but I can't imagine them giving him too much run. So I'm thinking Crowell gets probably like 18 to 20 touches here. He probably gets 20 plus touches actually. And just some stats on him. I mean, like I said, I'm a Miami fan, so I know it. We've just been getting gashed by the run. Like the holes are just opening up. I know you kind of saw that Texans game with us last week, Mike, and Lamar Miller the holes were just all over the place. So, I mean, they gave up 100 yards to Lamar Miller. They gave up 100 yards to Kerryon Johnson. They're going to give up 100 yards to Crowell.
Would you play the tight end here, seeing as though Dolphins like to give up?
Yeah, can I finish my stats?
Sorry, dog. Sorry, my brain doesn't work good.
Bro, you're just like, oh, Crowell, I don't want to hear this. Fuck him. Like he's dead to me.
I agree, dude. You got to play Crowell. You got to.
All right, well, for here, Miami, they allow the third most yards per game. They allow 143 yards per game, and they've allowed 160. They've allowed 160 or more yards in 3 of their last 5 games. So the potential's crazy there. Would you feel comfortable starting Crowell or no?
Yeah, I'm playing him. I like it. I love it. If it's a running back, that's what I was getting at. If it's a running back or a random ass tight end against the Dolphins, playing him.
Oh, that's where you're going with the tight end here.
Yeah, because either running backs or all right, sorry.
All right, so would you start the tight end?
Dude, could be sneaky, dude. If you're stuck with CJ Uzoma off of all these injuries, I'd rather play him over that guy.
Yeah.
I
mean, Chris Herndon, we touched on him a couple times. 3 straight games with a touchdown. And the Dolphins have allowed 5 touchdowns to the tight end position in their last 3 games. So
yeah,
and we've been giving up touchdowns to no names.
Exactly,
like double 2 touchdown games, like no names.
Literally 2 weeks in a row. I'm pretty sure
2 weeks in a row. So yeah, I mean, like Anthony says it all the time. Rookie quarterback's best friend is his tight end. So yeah, for sure, throw him out there. I'm starting him in the league.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm starting in the league. Herndon.
I just feel like it's gonna be. It's just. If anything, it's just gonna piss people off if he ends up having a good game and you played him against the other guy. How mad would you be if Herndon like destroys you?
I wouldn't, because the Dolphins' defense we look terrible right now.
Yeah.
We look atrocious. So, and like I said, if these no-name tight ends could get 2 touchdowns in games, here's a guy who's had 3 touchdowns in 3 games. Obviously, Sam Darnold's looking for him in the red zone. He's big body. He's that Njoku type body. Big, long, lanky, athletic freak. So, yeah, go ahead and throw him out there. I mean, like I said, 6 teams on a bye. Maybe you're in a pinch. Maybe your tight ends, like I said, on a bye. There's no one out there on the waiver wire. He's on the waiver wire actually. So go grab him. But I like it. Sneaky start. Jump over to the Dolphins side of the ball with Jets. You're starting Jets defense. Like I said.
Yeah.
Dolphins side of the ball. Tannehill's going to be out again. So you got the Brock Osweiler show. So, I mean, it's just, bro, like you said, tall quarterbacks.
They just, they don't work.
I think, well, it's not Brocktober anymore.
Oh, that's what it is.
It's Brovember.
Brockvember.
I don't know.
Nope, it's not that. No Brock November.
Brock Bottom. So, I don't know.
Brock Bottom.
It's Brock Bottom. So, yeah, Brock Osweiler, he's starting again. So, that just kind of jump to the running backs here. Drizzy Drake, he's been one of the most frustrating players for me in fantasy football.
Because he got drafted that's what happens when you draft Kenyon Drake as an RB1.
He's just been, even RB2, he's been so, like, I don't know. You know what it was? He had those 2 games where he didn't get the ball at all. And you're just wondering, like, what's going on? And then Frank Gore's getting, like, 15 carries, and he's only getting 5. And you're like, bro, what's going on here? This is, like, not,
doesn't make any sense.
But then these last couple games, our receivers are banged up. So he's been getting involved more in the passing game. He's putting up points. So his floor he's been balling out these last games. I think I saw a stat where in the last 4 weeks or so, he's like RB6. I mean, I guess you got to dial him up. RB2, flex guy for sure. I think what it is like you said, people drafted him to be the RB1 or maybe even RB2. And at the end of the day, Drake's just like a flex.
Yeah.
He's a low-end RB2 flex guy.
Yeah.
So with him, he's got the talent. It's never been about the talent. It's just the opportunity and the volume and the touches. Is he getting the targets? Is he getting the run? I mean, for some reason, if Gore went down, like that's never gonna happen because that guy's gonna live longer than all of us.
Bro,
But if Gore went down, Drake would be.
Do you think
stud.
that he's not a human? I feel like sometimes Frank Gore's a robot.
I don't know, man. That guy, Frank the Tank, for a reason, bro.
Yeah, for real.
That guy really
Frank
is a
the
tank. So, speaking of Frank the Tank, would you feel comfortable dialing him up this week, or?
No,
Yeah, me neither.
I hardly feel comfortable dialing up Drake. So you know what I mean.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd probably be fading Gore here. Touch on the receivers here for a second. So we finally saw Devontae Parker come out. You know, he did his thing. He had like 6 catches, 100 and something yards. You know, we saw the talent. We saw what he was capable of and why the Dolphins took him in the first round. Albert Wilson's on IR, so he's out for the year. Kenny Stills is banged up. We don't know yet if he's going to play or not. It's looking like he won't because he's got a groin issue. So if Kenny Stills is out, I feel super confident playing Devontae Parker. If Kenny Stills plays, then that kind of limits his upside. But if there's no Stills out there, I like Devontae Parker here. Wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 upside. I mean, like I said, he's got the potential, and he's got the, like I said, the upside. He's a big body guy. The thing with Devontae Parker is he's one of those guys where it's like you just throw him the ball, and he literally just jumps over the defenders. Like, he doesn't have to be open. He doesn't have to have separation. It's like, here, bro, go deep, and I'm gonna throw you the ball. And you
just don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, just don't hurt yourself. He just jumps over everyone. So I would be starting him up. Sneaky play for me, or actually the receiver I would feel most confident in playing would be Danny Amendola. So Danny Amendola, this is the last 3 games. This is for PPR wise. So the last 3 games he's had 13.9, 20.4, and 14.7 PPR points. His targets are 11, 7, and 6. And he lines up in the slot 80% of the time. And we touch on it every single week when we do these matchup breakdowns. Whoever, is playing against the Jets and that lines up in the slot, we always touch on him. We're always like, hey, they're playing against the Jets. The Jets suck. This guy lines up in the slot. So Danny Amendola lines up in the slot 80% percent of the time. They've allowed the most receptions to wide receivers overall, and they've allowed the 3rd most points to slot wide receivers. So I would feel super, super confident dialing up Amendola this week. And like I said, even Devontae Parker, especially if Kenny Stills is out, I would feel comfortable throwing him out there because, like I said, the Jets, they allow the most receptions to wide receivers in the league. Tight end wise, they don't have a tight end, and I don't know, Dolphins defense maybe sneaky. Anthony was talking about playing Dolphins defense, sneaky play, rookie quarterback on the road.
Sometimes, dude, I feel like he reaches for the hardest. I don't know. Some people were talking about playing the Dolphins defense. My buddy actually asked me, he's like, should I play Raiders defense against Nick Mullins, or should I play the Dolphins defense? And I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, bro, Nick Mullins, I'd play the Raiders defense.
Yeah. See, for
Good
me,
call.
I would have not played the Raiders defense just because they've never done it against anybody. Like, they haven't had a good defensive game at all.
Yeah.
The Dolphins at least have had several games where they've put up some decent points, and I think those games they've done that, they've been at home. So this could be a potential, like I said, it's an over-under 43 points. The only thing that worries me is that the Jets are going to be able to run all over them. I don't feel comfortable starting. We kind of totally skipped over the Jets wide receivers. That's just how non-existent they are.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel comfortable playing any of these wide receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to take a dart throw, I'd maybe say Robbie Anderson if he plays, just on the shot that he gets a long touchdown. But besides that, I'm not starting Enunwa. I'm not starting Curse. I'm not starting Rashard Matthews. I'm not starting any of those guys. That just looks murky. So, Dolphins defense, sneaky player here maybe. I mean, we do we're top 5, top 3 in the NFL in interceptions. So rookie quarterback on the road.
Ooh.
It's hot. It's humid in Miami. You never know. Could be sneaky defense right there. All right, so let's jump over to the next matchup. We got the Atlanta Falcons at the Washington Redskins. The Redskins are minus 1.5, and the over-under is 48 points. So Falcons side of the ball. What are you thinking?
Ryan.
They're coming off a bye. Matt Ryan.
I don't like it.
See, for me, I
don't like it. They just got Clinton Dix on the Redskins side. I don't like.
Yeah, I don't like this game for the Falcons minus Julio Jones. It's just in my opinion. So the Redskins, sneaky good defense. They just got Clinton Dix, so that secondary is going to be better. They got him. They got DJ Swearinger, and they got Josh Norman. So it's good defense, good secondary. I would be fade. I mean, it's tough. You have Matt Ryan. For me, luckily, I have Matt Ryan in 2 leagues. But, like I said, everyone's drafting Matt Ryan super late this year. So maybe you got 2 quarterbacks, potentially.
Right.
So in those leagues, I have Matt Ryan. I have Drew Brees in another league, so I'm going to dial him up. And then I also have Cam Newton with Matt Ryan. So I'm going to dial up Cam Newton instead. So it kind of makes my decision easier. But now some people who they might not would like. It's tough because this is going to be a tough matchup, I think, for him. They are coming off a bye, so that always helps. You get an extra week to prepare, but like you just said, the Redskins defense has been sneaky good.
Yeah.
So I don't know how confident I would feel.
I think you're right. Julio, what did you play, Sanu?
Sanu, I would. I think I got some stats on him. So let's just touch on the running backs real quick. So you got Tevin Coleman, and you got Ito Smith over here. So Ito Smith's available in a ton of leagues. Go get him. I know he's not putting up the sexiest numbers right now, but he's in a running back by committee. He's going to see like 40%, 50% of the work there. This is going to be a tough game right here, though, for them. So the Redskins allow the sixth fewest yards per carry. They only allow 3.8 yards per carry, and they allow the second fewest yards per game at only 80 yards. And they haven't. Their defense has been really good, sneaky good. The Redskins haven't allowed a receiving touchdown to a running back yet. So this kind of limits the upside for Coleman and Ito Smith. I would probably be fading them if you had better options. Or, I mean, if you're starting them, just know that this is a tough matchup on paper. I mean, like I said, they're coming off a bye, so maybe they work something out. But, this is a tough matchup on the paper. I actually like the Redskins in this game, -1.5. Jumping to the receivers, Julio Jones. Maybe he'll catch a touchdown. Maybe he won't. Do you want to do a beer bet if he catches it or not?
Julio Jones?
Yeah. I'm just trying
You gotta give me some odds, bro.
I'm just trying to get an excuse to drink a beer.
Yo, if Julio Jones gets a touchdown this week?
Yeah.
No. Okay, you think yes or no?
I think yes. I think this is the week Julio Jones finally gets in the end zone.
All right. I'll give you 4 beers to 1 if Julio Jones gets a touchdown.
Wait, so you drink 4 beers? Or I get 4 beers?
Do you want 4 beers or do you?
Fuck it, don't threaten me with a good time. Of course I want 4 beers.
All right, dude. I'll get you the beers then.
This is a useless beer bet. I'm just trying to drink. So Julio Jones, you're dialing him up. I mean, he leads the league in the NFL. He's averaging over 115 yards per game. As far as the other wide receivers go, Ridley would probably be like a flex wide receiver 3 guy for me. Sanu, I'd probably be fading, though, because the Redskins have been really tough against the slot, and that's where Sanu lines up majority of his snaps. So the Redskins are actually top 5 when defending the slot. So they're really stingy against the slot. So I would be fading Sanu in this matchup. As far as the tight ends go here with Hooper, also another tough matchup right here. It's the Redskins, they allow the 4th fewest points per targets to tight ends. So it's just super tough matchup here. Like, it's tough. Like I said, they got a lot of teams on buys. Maybe you got some injuries. I mean, there's always a chance that he catches a touchdown because, they use Hooper in the red zone because they obviously don't use fucking Julio Jones in the red zone. I mean, like,
it's like double, triple covered.
We were talking about the tight ends, how, sometimes it's just, can you get a touchdown? Because if you can get a touchdown, it kind of makes your day for that tight end. Even if it's like one catch for 15 yards and a touchdown, it's like, you're like, all right, at least I got a touchdown.
You're like, at least I got something.
Yeah, something. So if you got to throw them out there, go for it. Just know that, like I said, the Redskins are really tough on the tight ends. Like I said, the only person I'd probably play with confidence in this matchup for the Falcons would be Julio Jones. Jump to the other side of the ball with the Washington Redskins here. So I know Alex Smith's captain check down, and we're just always talking shit about him. But I saw a crazy stat today on the Falcons defense. So I made Eli Manning one of my sleepers of the week. Batshit crazy for starting him, but he threw for over 400 yards. He had that late touchdown to Odell. So it's just because he's playing against the Falcons defense. So a stat I saw on the Falcons defense is week 1 they played against Nick Foles. He had that crazy game where he had like 5 points. He did terrible. So, but every quarterback after that they've played has been a top 10 quarterback. So every quarterback they've played, and that includes Eli Manning. And we all know how bad Eli Manning is. So Redskins at home, Falcons defense not very good. I mean, the upside's there. Like I just said, they've given up a top 10 quarterback like 6 straight games. So I would feel comfortable streaming Alex Smith, which sounds terrible. That sounds worse than me saying stream Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Stream Alex
Really?
Smith. That's yuck.
Yucky. Yeah, just because the offense has you have so much more options in New York.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the potential's there, like I said, Falcons are giving it up. If you need to stream a quarterback, Alex Smith, the top 10 upsides there. I mean, they've been giving up a top 10 quarterback every single week. So running backs here, AP, is he human?
No, he's not.
I don't think so, man. That guy is something else.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
It's just crazy. You were showing me that video with Shaquan Barkley and AP after the game. They were talking, and Shaquan Barkley was just a stud, and he's just looking like he was in awe, bro.
Like a kid.
He was like, "Oh my god, that's Adrian Peterson."
He's like, hi. He looked at him like, hi, I'm Saquon. He's like, yeah, dude, I've been watching you in college, bro. Like, I know who you are.
He's like, "Can I get that jersey?"
Could you sign it first?
That just shows you how good AP is. So yeah, dial that guy up. I saw a stat for Adrian Peterson that when he gets, I think it was 18 or more carries. So whenever he gets 18 or more carries, they're 5-0. So it's like, hey man, just follow that trend. Just give that guy the ball 20
Give
times.
him fucking 28
yeah,
carries.
so
Just
keep giving that guy the ball, bro, and yeah, let it happen. So a running back I was going to touch on for this matchup was Chris Thompson, but I think today they just officially ruled him out with his rib injury. So, but just some numbers to make you feel even better about starting Adrian Peterson. So the Falcons allow the second most PPR points to running backs, and they've allowed 70 receptions to running backs. That's the most in the NFL. And they've allowed the most receiving yards to running backs in the NFL as well. So maybe Capri Bibbs is a sneaky play here if you need to, pick someone up off the waiver wire and just spot start for the week. Capri Bibbs. Also, the Falcons, they allow 4.8 yards per carry. So, like I said, they're giving up the most receptions, the most receiving yards, and they give up nearly 5 yards per carry. AP, top 10 running back this week. Sneaky play, Capri Bibbs, since Chris Thompson is going to be out. As far as the receivers go on this one, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Could you start any of these receivers? Josh Doxson, Jamison Crowder, Paul Richardson. Could you start any of those guys with confidence?
I mean, against the Falcons, I mean, I don't know. Who? Okay, if you had to pick one, who would you pick? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Josh Doxson.
My first initial thought was Jamison Crowder. But maybe Paul Richardson off the long play potential. Like, I feel like Paul Richardson's a guy where he catches like a 48-yard touchdown. One catch, 48 yards touchdown. You're like, okay, tight.
You're like sick.
Yeah. It's just, they're just so inconsistent here. I wouldn't feel comfortable starting any of these guys. I know I just said it, like Alex Smith's got the top 10 upside potential this week, but
well,
it's just tough to see.
You don't know who to play. First of all, and then on top of it, it's just a crapshoot, man. You like, even if there does, because like you said, wide receiver could go off here, but you don't know who.
Yeah.
You don't know who the hell it's going to be.
Like, yeah, we said like this is kind of like the Jags wide receiver trio, but worse.
For sure.
So it's like, man, I wouldn't even roster any of these guys on my team, to be honest with you, unless you're like honestly, in a super deep league.
I'd just spit on them, dude.
Yeah, they're dead to me.
Okay.
Tight ends wise though, I would be dialing up Jordan Reed. This could be a big Jordan Reed game right here. So, dial him up. Vernon Davis, sneaky play maybe.
Alex Smith does like him.
Big Vern Pern.
Yeah, he's a dope guy. I served him once.
Pern. All right, so Redskins defense, maybe not a bad start. Like you just said, they've been sneaky good. Like all those numbers, like top 5 against the slot, Redskins, top 3 against the run. Like they haven't allowed a receiving touchdowns. So
Redskins defense, the thing about them is that just like the Broncos defense, they both have pretty juicy playoff schedules.
Yeah,
I do like the Broncos a little bit better because they're playing the Raiders, the Browns, and I think
the Niners.
Yeah, and the Niners. Well, fuck. I mean,
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins might prove me fucking wrong over here, but yeah, the Redskins have a pretty juicy playoff matchup. I don't know exactly who it is, but if you have them this week, it could be rough just because Falcons' offense is crazy. But keep them for the long haul, man. They're making these defensive moves, getting Ha Clinton Dix. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah, like I said, their defense has been sneaky good on the low. So I didn't even realize it, but then I started digging into some of these numbers, and I'm like, oh, man, their defense is pretty good.
Yeah, like I dropped them in a league like a couple weeks ago because I just like to stream defenses, but around this time is a good time to start holding them for the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next matchup here, we got the Chicago Bears at the Buffalo Bills. So the Bears are -10, and the over-under is 37.5. That's crazy. I would never, this is betting-wise standpoint, I know it's not the Bears, and I know it's the
Yeah,
Bills.
imagine trying to bet the Bears -10 under 37.
Yeah, you're a team on the road giving up 10 points, and the over/under's 37.5. That
it's
sounds
like,
terrible. I don't like that one. I would
Dude,
be
that
staying,
makes my-
personally. I would be staying away from that one.
that makes my brain like those little.
You're looking for like a 14-0 score.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know. It's
Like,
just if
even-
the Bills score one touchdown, you're kind of like fucked. You're like, damn, fuck. And now,
I hear you. Yeah, for real.
so starting the Bears side of the ball here. So Trubisky, he's been balling, and I touched on earlier. I said Mayfield or Trubisky, and I would actually probably lean Mayfield, which is crazy with how good that Trubisky's been balling. Just because the game script for Mayfield's, he should be playing catch up a lot.
Yeah.
Just some numbers on Trubisky in this matchup here. So the thing with Trubisky he's been balling is he's gotten 47 or more rushing yards in 4 straight games, and I think he's second behind only Cam Newton in total rushing yards in the NFL. So it goes Cam Newton and then Trubisky for most rushing yards in the NFL. But the Bills' defense has been sneaky good against quarterbacks. So we saw on Monday night Tom Brady. I don't even think he threw a touchdown pass, did he? Or he maybe a little shovel pass to James White. But they kind of limited Tom Brady. They kind of limited Aaron Rodgers when they played him. I think Rodgers only had like 1 passing touchdown. So Kirk Cousins did dog shit against them.
Bears
so,
defense, you're probably hyped.
Yeah, Bears defense hyped. So Trubisky, the Bills defense, they're top 5 in defense for yards per pass attempt. So and they're top 5 in air yards. So they're not giving up any deep passes here. You got Allen Robinson. He's banged up. He might not even play. Even if he does, he's gonna be shadowed by Tre'Davious White, and Tre'Davious White he's a top 5 corner in the league right now. Also, just some numbers that kind of make me worry about Trubisky this week is the Bills. They allowed the 3rd fewest points to outside wide receivers. So they're tough on tight ends too. Like I said, the Bills defense they're good against the pass. Where they kind of struggle is the run. And I'm thinking, you just said it. The Bears defense, you're dialing them up. They're the number 1 defense this week for sure. This kind of makes me feel like this is going to be a Jordan Howard game. In Buffalo, it's cold.
They got the lead.
They're going to have the lead, control the clock. Like I just said, the Bills' pass defense is good. So
this will be almost like an ultimate. It will help us know what the hell's going on with Jordan Howard. Like if Jordan Howard doesn't get enough reps this game, assuming the game script goes the way we think it will,
yeah,
you kind of have a better idea of what's going to happen.
Yeah,
in the future between these running backs.
Yeah, like I said, I just feel like this is all lining. This isn't going to be a shootout game. I feel like some of these games with Trubisky, the Dolphins game was kind of a shootout. Against the Patriots, the game was kind of a shootout. There's another game where he just raped some team, the Falcons or something like that. I don't know. He threw 6 touchdowns. So I don't think he's gonna have to throw the ball a ton in this one to get a W. Because like I said, the Bears defense, hopefully they get Khalil Mack back too. This would be, like I said, a Jordan Howard game here. Tariq Cohen, you're starting him. He's just been in fuego. I can't imagine you not starting him. For that guy, all it takes is one play for him. For
sure.
Last week, I think he had a little screen. He just ran it 70 yards down the field or something like that. But yeah, this is a big Jordan Howard game here. I have Jordan Howard in a league or two, so I'm kind of hoping finally he comes out and he does his thing. So
that's what I mean. Is like if he doesn't do it here, would you drop him?
I'm definitely not dropping him.
Or would you try and trade him?
Honestly, for me, I would hold on to Jordan Howard just because this is just my own personal opinion. But I believe that it's going to get colder in Chicago. You're playing a lot of these games outdoors, Green Bay. He plays against the Lions twice. The Lions' run defense is not very good. Even though they did trade for that defensive tackle, Snacks Harrison, we'll still see how that run defense is. One defensive tackle isn't going to change that landscape of that defense 100%.
Or will it?
So he's got some good matchups coming up. I would hold on to him. And actually, I was looking at some stats, and the Bears have, I believe it's the 4th easiest remaining schedule for running backs. So the schedule down the stretch for Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen, super juicy. And like I said, I feel like this is starting. We're getting these colder months. We're in November now. If you get into a game and it's snowing, are you going to throw the ball 20, 30 times, or are you going to run the ball 30 times? You're probably going to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is just, like I said, this is just my own thought process. My thought process is maybe that this coach knows, hey, it's a long season. I don't want to wear out Jordan Howard I know when we get to these cold winter months, he's going to be showcased and featured a lot. I need to preserve him as much as I can now. And then now he's fresh. He's got fresh legs. He's not as banged up as some of these other running backs. Now maybe this is a Jordan Howard show. So just keep an eye on it. Yeah, big Jordan Howard day, I think. So touch on the receivers. Like we said here, Allen Robinson should be shadowed by Tre'Davious White. I don't feel comfortable about him. If he sits out, then you got Taylor Gabriel, who should be shadowed probably by Tre'Davious White. Like I said, the Bears, the Bills, they're top 5 in like pass defense. They're not giving up deep plays. So if there'd be one maybe sneaky start, I would play. It'd maybe be Anthony Miller in the slot.
Yeah.
But even then, like I said, this is a game where I feel like they don't have to throw the ball a ton. So I would probably be fading all these wide receivers. As far as tight end goes, Trey Burton, how do you feel?
I think you're playing him.
I think you got to play him.
Yeah.
He's been kind of touchdown dependent, but I mean, when they get into the red zone, they're using him. Trick plays here and there. He's like they're using him. So you got to use him. You got to throw Trey Burton out there. I can't imagine a scenario where you don't start him. Jumping to the other side of the ball for the Bills. Yucky.
6 foot Groot.
6 foot Groot, definitely not.
Oh, what's up with McCoy?
I mean, if you're going to start anyone from the Bills, it's McCoy. But then even in this matchup, this is just a bad matchup. The Bears are, top 3 in like yards per game, yards per carry. I don't think they've even given up a rushing touchdown on the year yet. So this is just tough. I mean, this is tough. I mean, you probably got to start McCoy, but don't be surprised if he puts up a dud.
For real.
I mean, it's hard to bench McCoy, but this is just a terrible matchup.
This could be the week that you do it.
This is a terrible matchup for McCoy. If he's getting involved in the passing game, then maybe it can kind of like his floor could be kind of higher. But still, I feel this is a tough game for McCoy. Would you feel comfortable starting him?
Fuck no.
Definitely not. I actually didn't like anyone on the Bills, in draft season. I just felt like this offense was going to be amongst the worst in the league, and I try to avoid players who are on bad offenses. Bad offenses don't score as much, limits the upside and the touchdown opportunity for your players. So if you got McCoy, you probably don't have any better options. You probably drafted him in the 2nd, 3rd round, whatever. You probably drafted him high. You got to throw him out there. But just know that this is a bad matchup. The Bears' run defense is stout and one of the best in the league. Besides that, you're not – Bills it's a dumpster fire over there. So let's jump into the next game. We've got the Houston Texans at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are -1. The over-under is 46. So this is the first game after this trade. Broncos trade Demaryius Thomas to the Texans. The very next game, the Texans play the Broncos.
Yeah. Do you think he's just out there just like spying, just like, all right, here's how he plays? Like, do you think he brought his playbook with him on the plane over?
For sure. How could you not?
Dude, for real.
How could you not be like, bro, how does this defense run? Where are the holes in the defense? Where's weak? How should we attack?
Do you think when he was leaving the locker room, they're like, all right, we're going to need you to turn in your playbook? Oh, yeah, you're traded into Denver. It's like, or to Houston. He's like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I lost it. Okay.
I mean, you would think that he's pretty much just telling them everything he knows about the team, right?
That's just bad. That's just being a bad loser, bad winner.
No, it's called fucking strategy, bro.
Bro, science.
Yeah, so, all right, Deshaun Watson, he's coming off that 5-touchdown game against where he raped the Dolphins. You're starting him. I mean, in Denver, it should be a tougher game, but, I mean, you're definitely starting him.
Yeah.
Lamar Miller, he's been balling these last couple games. He's had back-to-back 100-yard games with a touchdown, and he's had 17 or more touches in his last 3 games. Just some numbers on the Broncos' defense to support starting Lamar Miller or feeling confident starting Lamar Miller. The Broncos allow the second most yards per carry at 5.1, and they allow 136 yards per game on the ground. So you can run on the Broncos. I would definitely be dialing up Lamar Miller with some confidence this week. DeAndre Hopkins, starting him everywhere. He could be the best receiver in the NFL, arguably. Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, he cut that one. What was it, last week when he cut that one with his butt?
Yeah, he threw it between his legs.
Yeah, heck yeah.
That was a good one.
Caught it with his
It's
taint.
pass interference, though. Bitch ass.
Yeah.
So speaking about Demaryius Thomas, would you feel comfortable starting him
No.
this week? No? For me, I do. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think he.
I don't like it this early.
Well, why not? What would be your reasoning?
Just 'cause I don't like playing like a receiver when they first switch to another team.
Yeah.
I think it just makes a better opportunity for all the other offensive players on the team. I think, you know what I mean? It just opens up the field more.
Yeah.
But I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, heck yeah, this guy's going to just blow up. Like, I just can't imagine you going after being on a team for 5 days, being able to put up multiple touchdowns and a ton of yards.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, the reason why I like Demaryius Thomas this week is just because he's from the Broncos, so he's used to playing in Denver. You know, it's going to be like a home game for him. He knows that defense. He knows, where to go. He knows where's the weak spots. He knows where to avoid. And he's going to tell the Texans offensive coordinator, this is how we should attack them. So, and I think with him being in his game there, that they might even try to feature him just because, like, hey, man, let's revenge game almost. Like, let's go out there and maybe he's going to want to show Denver, hey, bro, you guys traded me, but fuck you guys. Look what I just did to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but sure. I still don't like it.
I get what you're saying.
I just kind of keep that as a rule in general.
Yeah.
When someone gets traded.
I get what you're saying, and I think for maybe if they were playing against like
someone random,
the Patriots or something like that, right. Random, so it'd be different. But the thing that I also would feel comfortable with him is that Will Fuller's out for the year, so he's gone, and then you got Kiki QD who lines up in the slot. He's kind of banged up. I think he's going to play. I'm not 100% sure. Just keep an eye on that. But even if he does play, he's going to draw Chris Harris Jr., and he's like top 5 slot corners in the league. He's one of the best slot corners in the league. So Kiki QD, he's not 100%, and he's going to face a really, really, really good corner. That kind of leaves Demaryius Thomas open, I feel like. They're going to obviously focus on DeAndre Hopkins. They don't have a tight end. I mean, I like Demaryius Thomas. So you want to do a beer bet on this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
So what do you want to put this line at? PPR wise, over 10 points or?
Sure. Where you call it?
I'll say over 10 points. PPR.
Over 10. Can I change the line?
Yeah. What's your counter?
Can I go under 12?
All right, I'll do 12. That would be my next one. All right, I'll go over 12 points.
All right.
Beer bet.
Under.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take over 12 PPR points to Demaryius
Bro,
Thomas.
you got to think, dude, that as much as he knows and plays there, bro, they all know how he plays.
Yeah, but they
all know his tendencies.
They don't know the Texans' offense, though. So we'll see. All right, dude. Beer bet it. We'll beer bet it.
I just got coffee on me.
All right, so Texans defense, would you feel comfortable starting them? I'm not mad at it. Case Keenum's not very good.
Case Keenum only could get one passing touchdown.
Yeah, Case Keenum's not very good. Texans defense, I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah,
so,
you play Texans defense.
Jump to the other side of the ball. Broncos, speaking Case Keenum, I would be fading him.
Yeah.
The running back situation, I think Royce Freeman's out again with that high ankle sprain, so that leaves Phillip Lindsay's show. He's locked and loaded every week. Starting him, he's top 15 every single week, especially PPR. The guy's got a super safe floor. I mean, good for that guy. Undrafted free agent. Grew up in that Denver area. Was a Broncos fan, and now he's balling out for the Broncos. I mean, that's wild, man. Good for that guy. I love hearing shit like that. Good for that guy. Let's touch on Devontae Booker real quick because we both said we would not be playing him at all, even though Royce Freeman was out. But he had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
He had like 9 rushes, 70 yards, couple catches. He had a really good game actually. Still don't like it. Yucky.
No. Yuck.
I mean, if you're in a pinch and you need something,
I can see people justifying playing him, but I'm not excited about it at all.
Yeah, I mean he's probably going to see 10 to 12 touches again. What he did last week. Who did the Broncos play last week? I think it was a bad matchup, or it was a good matchup for them. So maybe that's what it was.
Oh, they played. They had a good matchup. I think no, because my dad wanted to play Case Keenum instead of Cam Newton.
Oh, they were in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So Kansas City's run defense is not good.
That was another example that goes back to my whole Baker situation. Case Keenum still wasn't able to do anything against the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So yeah, Chiefs run defense is not very good, so that's why they did good. The Texans defense is better than the Chiefs defense. So, I mean, like I said, if you're in a pinch, they got a ton of teams on a bye. If Devontae Booker's out there, maybe you got a ton of teams on a bye. You get someone banged up, go grab him, dart throw, flex play. Just know it's like a boomer bust guy. He could shit the bed, but I mean, he should see about 10 to 12 touches, so could fall into the end zone. You never know. Sneaky play.
If you got a ton of guys on bye, if you're like your buddy, sure.
Yeah.
He's picking up Cole Beasley. Might as well throw Devontae Booker in there too.
Yeah, I mean, they're at home, so you never know. Receiver-wise, my man crush, Manny Sanders. You're starting him every single week. Let's touch on Sutton here, since I didn't grab him in any leagues. So mad.
I have him, but I'm not. I don't know. I think I'm playing him in my double flex league, in one of those flex spots. The 2 leagues I have him in, I have Emmanuel Sanders too, though. So
Oh, nice. Well, maybe if he blows up, just an idea.
just get some value for
Trade him.
Definitely.
Just be like, hey man, look, he's got. You know what I'm saying?
People are already high on him. People are putting a lot of fab on him. I've seen people put like way too much fab on him in some leagues. So
Yeah. So just some numbers for Sutton. If I had Sutton, I would be dialing him up for sure. I'd be playing him this week. So he was already seeing like about 70% of the snaps, and that was with Demaryius Thomas. So Demaryius Thomas is gone now. So like I said, I can't imagine the guy leaving the field. He's got to be on the field for like 85, 90% of the snaps. So just some numbers on Sutton. He's had 8 or more PPR points in 5 straight games, and that was on limited targets. So Demaryius Thomas was getting a ton of targets. So just some interesting numbers for Sutton as well. So this is how the target distribution went between those 3 receivers. You had Sanders had 64 targets, but he only had 1 end zone target. So he's not getting any targets in the red zone. You had Demaryius Thomas, who had 56 targets, but he only had 2 end zone targets. You had Sutton, he had 35 targets, but he had 8 red zone targets. So 23% of his targets were in the end zone. So that's a huge amount of numbers. So obviously he's the red zone target.
right.
Clear cut. You lose Demaryius Thomas, that's 56 targets, so that was a big chunk right there that's gone. I would feel super confident playing Sutton this week. I mean, you can't trade away Demaryius Thomas and then pretty much force Sutton because you believe in Sutton, and then Sutton come out here and have a dud game.
Yeah.
So I would feel comfortable playing Sutton. Like I said, I'm mad. We talked about it and we're like, bro, we should stash him. I'm always talking about shit. I should do this, and then I don't. This one I'm really, really regretting because I think Sutton for the rest of the year is going to be a top 20 wide receiver. Like I don't know. I think he's.
I feel like they wanted to use him, but they just really couldn't.
Yeah.
The way their offensive scheme was.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like him a lot. Yeah, if you have him, I just my personal opinion, I would for sure be starting him. Like I said, he's their red zone guy. So no Demaryius Thomas either to eat up. He should be on the field a ton. Yeah, start him with confidence. Tight ends. There's no tight ends for the Broncos. Defense.
We say that
every week.
Every time we say that.
Defense, Broncos defense. I'm streaming the Broncos defense just for this is my reasoning behind this stream. Broncos defense, they're at home, so it's always hard to play in Mile High. You got the altitude. They have good pass rushers. They have Bradley Chubb. They have Shane Ray. They have Von Miller. Pretty decent secondary. And the Texans' offensive line is not good. Like, they're really, really, really bad. I mean, like we said, we watched that Miami Dolphin game with the Texans, and it's just every time Deshaun Watson hikes the ball, he's like running around like a crazy person. Yeah. But he's just so athletic that he avoids everything. Yeah. But, I mean, you're telling me you got, Bradley Chubb and Von Miller coming off the edge. I'm sure they're going to get some sacks. Deshaun Watson's kind of guy. He'll try to force it to DeAndre Hopkins, so he could throw a pick or 2. So, yeah, I'm streaming the Broncos in the league. How do you feel about it?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm streaming them in a league too. And I'm super excited because I got Broncos. Okay, would you play Broncos D or Jets D?
Off top of the head, my first initial thought was Jets D. I'm just worried for the Dolphins, bro. It's weird. We always lose to the Jets in some fashion. And we'll beat them at home, but then they'll come and they'll smack us in Miami. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing Jets defense.
It's just because of Brock Osweiler, too. I'm not sold on Brock Osweiler. Yeah. At least...
I could just see Deshaun Watson still having a pretty decent game.
Yeah, for sure. They have weapons. Yeah, Deshaun Watson can run the... He's got that... He can run the ball and make shit happen with his leg. Brock Osweiler, he's... Yeah. Maybe tall quarterbacks don't work, bro.
Oh, dude, that can't be the case,
bro,
dude.
Tall quarterbacks, they don't work. Drew Brees, short. Russell Wilson, short. Baker Mayfield, short.
Well,
your dick,
short. Oh,
they just work.
Hey, why'd you made a goof on me?
Anyways, let's jump to this next game. We got the San Diego. See, I always want to say San Diego Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers at the Seattle Seahawks.
Every team moved to Los Angeles.
Seahawks -1. The over-runner's 48. Starting the Chargers side of the ball here. Phillip Rivers. He's just old man Rivers, bro. He just gets it done every week. I mean, he's just so consistent. He's just always getting it done. I mean, if people sleep on him. And he's a quarterback who got drafted in like the 10th, 11th, 12th round, 13th round.
Phillip Rivers is always a sneaky quarterback because he never goes off really, but he doesn't ever really, like, he's pretty consistent. He's pretty just, consistent middle of the road quarterback. That's what I like, dude. Yeah. Consistency.
Yeah. I mean, in Seattle, it's always tough to play in Seattle. You know, I still
like it,
away
though.
there. I still like Rivers though this game. To be dialing him up.
Melvin Gordon's coming back.
Melvin Gordon should be back. Just keep an eye on it because I heard he's been limited still, and like, you know, some people have been saying they might sit him out one more week just because of this whole Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette thing. They don't want to. They don't want to rush him back. So just keep an eye on it and make sure he plays. I mean, if Melvin Gordon plays, you're for sure dialing him up. If he doesn't play, maybe if you have Melvin Gordon, go out and grab Austin Eckler. That way,
I actually just traded because I have a league where my receivers are just stacked, and I have John Brown sitting on my bench, and so I ended up trading him for Austin Eckler just as the Melvin Gordon handcuff.
Good call, yeah, good call. I mean, you might as well have the handcuff to your RB1 instead of a fifth receiver.
I wouldn't make that trade if I had if my receivers, but I have like AB, Michael Thomas, and Mike Evans as my wide receivers.
Humble brag, huh?
Yeah, chill, Mike, chill. So, yeah, in that situation, it's like, yeah, I'm down for a handcuff like that.
No, that's actually good. That's a good call right there. I like that about you.
I like that.
I like that about you. That's a good call right there. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. Make sure he's playing. If not, Austin Eckler would, be like a high end RB2. Maybe even a low end RB1 with the volume he'd probably see in that offense. Receivers wise here, Keenan Allen, he's just a PPR machine. The thing with Keenan Allen is I like Keenan Allen. We talked about it on draft season. He's one of my favorite players, and I feel like every year when I would draft him, he'd get hurt, so it would suck. He's a PPR machine. And I think last year he kind of broke out, but you didn't have Mike Williams there. You didn't have the running backs getting a ton of touchdown catches like they are this year, and he's getting like consistently like 6 catches, 80 yards. 5 catches, right. 90 yards. But he's not getting any touchdowns, so it just kind of limits his floor. But he does have a safe floor. I mean, he limits his ceiling, but he's got a safe floor. I mean, you're starting him every week though. I think Keenan Allen's more of like a wide receiver. He's like a solid wide receiver too, compared to like this wide receiver one that most people probably drafted him as. But I mean, like I said, you got him. You're definitely down him up. Let's touch on the Williams brothers here because you got Tyrell Williams and Mike Williams. How do you feel about this situation? Because I know you had Mike Williams in a couple leagues.
I think I ended up dropping him in a league actually, just because it just was frustrating. I still like him though.
Yeah,
especially if Melvin Gordon's out, you could see him a little more offensive targets towards him. He had I think both Williams had like 3 touchdowns. What was that, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, he finds the end zone.
Yeah,
he's very touchdown dependent.
He's big. If you ever seen him on the field, he just towers over Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, yeah,
he just towers over everybody. Yeah. That's a big dude right there. For me personally, it's like a crapshoot. I feel like if it's not Mike Williams, it's Tyrell Williams. If it's not Tyrell Williams, it's Mike Williams. It's just so inconsistent. I mean, if you want to take a shot, go with your gut. For me,
truly, that's what it.
Go with your gut, bro. Because I mean, I don't know. For me, my gut is saying avoid these receivers if I can. Yeah. But I mean, if you have to, potentially start one of these 2 guys.
I would go Mike Williams over Tyrell Williams.
See, I'd probably just stay with the hotness of Tyrell Williams since he's been balling. Yeah. Beer bet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I bet you Mike. Mike Williams.
All right, I'll
touchdown.
Take more points. More points. More points. More points. Yeah.
All right. Then I'll say Mike Williams.
All right, I'll go Tyrell Williams here. Getting some beer bets here, guys.
The bear bets.
All right, so yeah, like I said, go with your gut there on that one. That's tough. I mean, I don't want to be like, don't start this guy and then go off, or start this guy and then he has a dud. That's a total crapshoot in my opinion. So go with your gut on that scenario. Antonio Gates, he's just a guy. He's just there. He's just getting that last paycheck before he retires and goes to the Hall of Fame. Chargers defense, probably fading them in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Week 9.
Maybe just to keep an eye on the Chargers defense. Joey Bosa should be coming back soon. So when he comes back, that's huge. I mean, just think of getting a Khalil Mack back, or Von Miller back. One of these top. That's Joey Bosa. Imagine getting J.J. Watt back for your defense. So that's obviously going to make your defense better. So when he comes back, that defense should be better. I think they have a couple good matchups. Going down the stretch. Definitely going to be a streaming option coming up in the future weeks. Jumping to the Seattle side of the ball, you got Russell Wilson. He's just doing his thing.
He's a guy.
He's a guy. He's been, I don't think he's been balling out like crazy, but he's been pretty consistent. I think what it is, he's not running the ball as much as he used to. But I mean, he's been playing good.
I still like him.
Yeah, I think he's in the back end QB1 territory. So start him. Running backs, Chris Carson. Just some numbers on Carson here. He's actually the second highest graded running back on Pro Football Focus, and he's averaging over 5 yards per carry. And the Chargers allow 4.5 yards per carry. So the game script on paper is there from. It's a positive matchup for Chris Carson here. I would definitely be dialing him up. Rashard Penny, Mike Davis. These guys were they're nothing. That's just an aberration or whatever they say. Chris Carson, definitely be dialing him up with confidence. Touch on the receivers here because just some interesting things I found. So Doug Baldwin, a lot of people drafted him high, 3rd round. I've never been a big Baldwin guy, just personally. But he's going to face Desmond King in the slot. And Desmond King is the number 2 rated corner on Pro Football Focus. So
number 2.
So he's pretty good. And the Chargers, they allow the 6th fewest points to slot wide receivers. That's where Doug Baldwin lines up majority of the time in the slot. So tough matchup for Baldwin here. He's also not 100%. I mean, he's had some time to come back. Maybe rest those knees a little bit, but he's just not 100%. He's playing against one of the toughest corners in the league in the slot. They gave up the 6th fewest points to the slot wide receiver. The Chargers do. This is just a tough matchup for Baldwin. I mean, like I said, it's tough. You got a lot of teams on buys. I keep saying it.
How does that make you feel about Lockett?
So Lockett, just another receiver. So that being said, Lockett should see a ton of Casey Hayward. I believe Casey Hayward is going to shadow him, and he's good. He's real good. So the receivers that Casey Hayward shadowed, he's allowed only 5 receptions in 4 games that he's shadowed players. So he hasn't shadowed every game, but in the 4 games that he's shadowed players, he's only allowed 5 total receptions. So he's allowing like 1 reception per game. And he's only, and the most yards that he's allowed. So you're saying play Tyler Lockett. And the most yards that he's allowed is 16 yards versus him. So you're telling me 1 catch for about 16 yards? That's pretty bleak right there. So it's just tough with Lockett because he's been such a touchdown machine. I mean, that guy, he's getting a touchdown every single game. Like, I think it's 6 out of 7 games now he has a touchdown. So is the touchdown upside there? For sure. I mean, the 6 out of 7 games he's had a touchdown. But now he's playing against Casey Hayward. That's a super tough matchup. Could he catch a touchdown? 100%. But is it likely that he catches a touchdown? Probably not this game. It's like I said, it's tough. You got all these teams on buys. Both these receivers have tough matchups here. You got Doug Baldwin, tough matchup. You got Tyler Lockett, super tough matchup. I know if Anthony was here, he'd want to touch on David Moore, the other wide receiver for the Seahawks. I haven't done too much research on him or looking into him. I mean, I guess if there's one receiver who doesn't have a crazy tough matchup, it's him. The only thing I can say with him is I think he's only gotten like 11 targets in the last 3 games, and he has like 4 or 5 touchdowns with those targets. So that's just crazy, touchdown rate.
Those numbers are insane. But really though.
So him, I don't know. I'd probably be trying to fade all these guys. The Chargers are coming off a bye. Now I'm starting to get worried about Russell Wilson here. Did we start Russell Wilson?
I just started because he's the kind of guy that will just make plays out of nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
He blows up usually in the second half of the season. I know we've been saying that all year. Wait. I still like it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, these receivers, they just got a tough matchup right here. Like I said, David Moore, I don't know too much on him, so I don't want to give too much advice out there. That's a dart throw. I mean, all I know is that he's getting, for the amount of targets he has and the amount of touchdowns he's getting, it's just crazy. It's like unsustainable. So just know that. Tight end wise, a name that Dixon. Keep an eye on him. I think he was like 2 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown last week. So just keep an eye on him. I mean, he could be a streaming option at tight end. Like I said, these receivers have some tough matchups, so maybe potentially get a touchdown.
Austin Hooper or Ed Dixon?
Ugh, that's tough.
I'd probably end up going Ed Dixon there.
I think
just because of the cornerback matchups on the receivers, it might just leave.
That's tough right there.
Big ol' Ed.
Yeah, that one's tough. I maybe just Ed Dixon because we're off the top of the head, but that one's tough. They'd probably be like neck and neck in like a rankings for me. Seahawks defense. I'm not mad at it. I don't know. Seahawks defense has been low-key sneaky good at home. I'm not mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. I think this game, it's 48 over-under. I think this is an under game. I think this is an under game, just off the top of my head. So, Seahawks defense, sneaky good. I would pick up maybe the Seahawks defense too, because I think they have a couple. Like I said, they'll probably be a streaming option coming forward. They have a couple juicy matchups going forward. So jump to this next game. I know you said you were really excited for this one. So you got the Rams minus 1.5 at the New Orleans Saints. The over/under is 58.5.
I could see
this is the highest over/under of the week. So
I could see the Saints beating the Rams here.
I could too, for sure.
That I could definitely see it.
So the Rams side of the ball, I mean, I feel like when I see over-unders like this high, it's almost like I want every piece I can get.
Right.
Like, give me Jared Goff. Gurley's the MVP pretty much. Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods. Cooper Kupp should be back. If he's back and he's playing, then I'm for sure starting Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, because Cooper Kupp. Yeah, you got to start those two. Yeah, for sure. Cooper Kupp, I like though. He lines up in the slot. PJ Williams lines up in the slot, and Adam Thielen just tore him apart. What was that last week?
Yeah, PJ Williams, he's not good.
He's what you call a not. He's probably what was it rated? Second worst in the league. Corners.
Probably, yeah. He's really bad.
Yeah, so Cooper Kupp definitely, if he's playing, even though he's coming off of an injury, I would still play him.
Yeah. Sean McVay said it looks like he's going to play.
Yeah.
Like all the signs are pointing in the right direction. So just keep an eye on that. Make sure if he's playing, make sure he's in your lineup. Throw him in there because
that's probably one of the juicier matchups on
for sure.
On
I mean, like side. And we touched on it. Like the Cooper Kupp, that's Jared Goff's boy. I mean, that's his go-to guy. That's why Cooper Kupp was like the number 2 receiver before he got hurt. That was another guy that we touched on in the draft season and we said to go get. So humble brag.
Humble brag.
Just so like I said, you're starting all those receivers. Just know that if Cooper Kupp doesn't play, then you're probably going to see Josh Reynolds play. But I think Robert Woods then would slide into the slot. So then that means that Robert Woods then would rape PJ Williams.
Who will commit this rape this weekend? Yeah.
Josh Reynolds, I'm not sure if I would play him. He'd be like just like a desperate deep throw if Cooper Kupp doesn't play. But like I said, it looks like Cooper Kupp's going to play this matchup. Tight ends, the Rams, they don't use their tight end because they run these 3 wide receiver sets every single play. And they got Gurley, who man, that guy's good. He good. I just want to say that I know he cost a lot of people wins last week by falling down, and I was one of those people. I lost by 4 points, and if he would have scored that touchdown, I would have won.
So would you? So do you not love that guy?
No, I still love that guy. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Some people are getting mad. They're like, "Oh, fuck him," blah. Like the funny thing was,
you mean the guy who's been carrying your team this entire season? Yeah, fuck that guy. Okay,
I was like, all right, bro. You still got me 30 points. I lost by 4, but I mean, for me, I didn't care that much because I'm in first place in that league, and I scored the second most points, and I lost to the guy who just happened to score the most points. But I would have beat everyone else, and it's like I pretty much should have won because he should have scored that touchdown. So I still feel good about it. But anyways. Jump over to the New Orleans Saints side of the ball here. So you got Drew Brees. He's at home. I'm definitely dialing up Drew Brees in this matchup against the Rams. The Rams defense, their pass defense has been not as good as people thought it would be.
Yeah.
They've been giving up some points. So definitely dialing up Brees. Like I said, he's at home. This is a high over-under. Kamara, Ingram, you're dialing these guys up. Michael Thomas, you're dialing him up. Let's just touch on someone. Maybe he's like a sneaky play. Traquan Smith. Traquan. So his brother Duquan, he texted me and he was like, "Yo, you guys need to talk about my brother on the podcast, or else you're fucking dead to me." And I was like, "Duquan, I got you."
And then I got an email from Uno Quan.
I thought it was Unquan.
Unquan. My bad. I got that mixed up.
So Traquan Smith, would you take a desperate dart throw on him?
No, maybe. I mean, I'm not doing it this week, but I can I can understand like why you would want to with the 58.5 over under. Just like you said, you want to get a piece of every action you can.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So some things I was just looking at some research, kind of glanced and I saw it was so the Rams, they're like, bottom 10 or bottom 5 in like deep pass completions, like 20+ yard completions on the field. So like they're like not really good at defending the deep pass, and that's kind of what Traquan Smith is. He like leads the team in deep targets in the last 3 weeks. So he's kind of taking over that Ginn role of like that deep guy. I wouldn't mind taking a shot at him. I mean, like I said, it's a high over under here. The Rams defense hasn't been that bad. Haven't been that good. I mean, if you need someone, like maybe you're trying to go home run or bust, you need a guy who can get you like a 20 burger that randomly, maybe take a shot on him. I mean, the potential's there. Like I said, it's a shoot. This could be a shootout for sure. So, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Take a shot on him.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not in any type of situation in any of my leagues that I'm going to do it, but I can understand why you would want to.
For sure. Tight ends here, Ben Watson. I mean, I'm not a big Ben Watson guy. I haven't really been paying attention to him. I know you've had him in a league, or you played him in a league.
What?
Ben Watson.
Yeah, I mean, shit, dude.
I mean, like, the tight ends are just. I mean, like we're saying, if you're kind of hoping your tight end can fall into the end zone. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, if I just like you said with over under, I could see it happening.
I mean, if you got him and if you need to throw him into your lineup, I mean, go for it, because I think the Rams, they're not very good against the tight ends. That's like kind of one of the areas you can attack. So some potential there for Ben Watson. He'd be, like I said, a dart throw. I mean, like, hey, like we just said, when you're talking about these tight ends, it's kind of like, can they get you a touchdown or not? You're like banking on a touchdown, and can you give me because none of these tight ends are going to blow you away with receptions or yardage. It's kind of like, can you get into the end zone? So in a game with a 58-point over under, supposed to be some touchdowns to be scored here.
Yeah, Rams are like middle of the pack they're kind of right in the middle
of the pack.
Tight end defense.
So yeah, take a shot on him. Could be worse. I mean, could be worse. All right, so
are you playing these defenses?
Negative. No, not with that over under.
Yeah, no,
not with that over under. All right, so we jump into the Sunday night game. You got the Green Bay Packers at the New England Patriots. The Patriots are -5.5, and the over/under is 56.5.
Just right below the Saints game.
Yeah. So again, this one, like I said, I want everyone. I want any kind of action, any piece I can get in this game. I want it.
Can Rob Gronkowski? All right, I'm skipping a little head. All right, let's talk about Tom Brady first.
Right. Who are we talking about?
Gronkowski.
No, fucking Tom Brady.
Oh.
I've been here. First of all, let me just say, I've been hearing all this. Who's the fucking GOAT talk? Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. First of all, let me just put the critics to some. It's fucking Tom fucking Brady. How many rings does Tom Brady got? 5. How many rings does fucking Aaron Rodgers have? 1. It's Tom fucking Brady. Okay, done.
No, but Aaron Rodgers is like,
Tom fucking Brady would fuck your bitch. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't. He would tell you to go get some Allstate insurance. Tom Brady would fuck your bitch though.
Tom Brady would fuck your bitch and kiss your kids goodnight
on the lips.
Dude, that's the weirdest thing ever. All right.
Anyways, all right. So yeah, we'll start on the Patriots side of the ball then. Tom Brady, you're starting him. James White, he's been top 10 PPR running back. He's been really good. He's actually been saving.
How many receptions did he end up with last week?
I don't know, but he's
because you were like, bro, he's gonna get 20 receptions.
He had like 12 or something like that. Yeah, I needed him to get 30 points. He got me like 28 or something. I barely lost by like 1 or 2 points in that league. Anyway, so yeah, James White, that guy's been sneaky good. If you got James White, you probably drafted him in like the 10th, 12th round. Like you drafted him late, so you You have a top 10 running back that you got in the fucking 10th round.
You know what Mike did? You know what Mike did is he drafted Sony Michel, James White, and Rex Burkhead, and everybody was like, "Why would you do that?" He's like, "Well, dude, one of them's gonna go off." He's like, "I just want all of them." Low-key, and that's not a bad strategy for Patriots running back situation. Like I almost want to do that every year.
Yeah,
just draft all of them, figure it out later.
No, for sure. So. Starting James White, Sonny Michel is his name. Keep an eye on because he's been practicing. So this is kind of tricky because this is a Sunday night game. So it's almost like, what do you do? Do you throw someone in these morning games just to make sure you get some points? Because I mean, you want to have Sonny Michel out there and then, boom, you don't play anything. I mean, the only thing I can think of maybe is if you're thinking about playing Sonny Michel, just keep an eye on these injury reports. See what they're saying.
Because I'm lucky. I'm in a situation where I have Dion Lewis.
Yeah.
So that way, and Dion Lewis plays on Monday. So I can kind of wait, and if Sony's playing, then I'm gonna throw him in.
Okay, that's a good scenario right there.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can say is, if you have Sony, you think about playing him, maybe try to grab Jamal Williams if he's out there,
sure,
just in case, because he should get some touches. I don't think they're gonna give Aaron Jones all the touches. Maybe grab Jamal Williams. Maybe this sounds terrible, but Derrick Henry's got dropped in a lot of leagues. Maybe try to grab him just so you can throw someone in there. You know what I'm saying? If not, if you don't want to take the risk on Sonny Michel, maybe they sit him out one more week. You just play your for sure guy. You know what I'm saying? This is a gut feeling again. You got to go with your gut here. Like, do you just want to be the safe play? Do you want to just play like an Alex Collins?
Would you play Duke Johnson? With a new offensive coordinator.
See, that one's tough. I want to believe that Duke Johnson's going to have a good game this week just because they're going to be behind. And like I said, that how that coordinator used to use David Johnson when he was with the Cardinals, I want to believe that they're going to use Duke Johnson in a similar fashion because Chubb's not really a pass catcher. That one's tough right there. That's tough. That's what I'm saying. You got to go with your gut sometimes.
See, I would almost play Duke Johnson in front of Sony Michel just because him coming off the injury, and James White's been killing it. I don't think that Sony Michel is going to get a ton of touches. Although he's been great, he's not going to be coming off injury. I can't see them pushing it to the limit with him.
Yeah, 100%.
So in that situation, I'll probably end up just throwing Duke Johnson in there.
Yeah. Some numbers actually on Duke Johnson. This is totally off the sidetrack, but I totally forgot to go over this. But if you're thinking about starting Duke Johnson, I missed this when we covered the Browns. But the Chefs, they allow the third most receptions to running backs, and they allow the second most receiving yards to running backs. So that's Duke Johnson's bread and butter right there, receiving back. So if you have Duke Johnson, maybe I would feel more comfortable just because this could be a game like the way the NFL is portraying this game is it's Rodgers versus Brady. That's how they're not. This isn't the Packers versus the Patriots. No, this is Brady versus Rodgers. So maybe they don't run the ball as much, and maybe this is just a shootout. Maybe this is passing quarterback back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I agree with what you're saying. Maybe they don't want Michel to.
Yeah, I don't. I just think they're going to try and preserve Michel.
Yeah,
because he's pretty injury prone. I feel like.
Yeah, but like you said, if you have him and you're trying to gamble and you want to start Michel. Maybe just see if Jamal Williams is out there, so you can. If he doesn't play, you could throw at least Jamal Williams in there, or see if like a Dion Lewis or it sounds terrible, but like a Derrick Henry's out there. Ugh. Then at least you could throw somebody into your lineup that way you don't put up a goose egg. But I don't know. This is that situation really depends on your lineup and how you're built. So, touch on the receivers here. Edelman, PPR machine. You're dialing them up. Top 15 play, easy. Top 10 play, maybe PPR wise. Josh Gordon, dialing them up. You know, this would probably be the Josh Gordon come out game, I think, where he actually has like,
unless Bill decides that he's going to discipline him. I mean, he said he was going to discipline him when he was playing like every snap last game.
Yeah. I think this would be the Josh Gordon game where he comes out and he just the Josh Gordon that we all think and when we think of Josh Gordon.
Right.
Chris Hogan, would you take a chance on him maybe?
I'm not mad at it. Yeah, sure. I had to think about it for a second.
Chris Hogan, would you play him? Hug it, chuck it, fuck it. Chris Hogan.
Sure. Sure.
I don't know I mean, I guess you got a high over under here.
That's
maybe. I mean, I would probably feel. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd probably not.
Hey, do you know?
I don't know. I don't know. That's how I feel about Chris Hogan. I don't know. He's probably going to see about 4, maybe 5 targets. It's almost like, does he catch it? And if he catches a touchdown, he makes your day. If he doesn't catch a touchdown, then the receptions and the yardage are not going to be there for Chris Hogan.
For sure.
Because you got, too much. So, Gronk.
Please God, Gronk, do something, dude. He actually didn't do too bad in this last game, but it's not the Gronk numbers we're used to, so it's very frustrating. I took him in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
It's like,
if you got Gronk, you took him high for sure.
yeah.
In the draft season, we were saying it's Gronk or bonk, but I think maybe the true saying is Gronk goes bonk.
Gronk went bonk, dude.
Gronk went bonk.
Or he's not going bonk.
I don't know.
If you scored a lot of touchdowns, are you going bonk? Or if you just miss passes, that's you going bonk. Yeah. I like the second one.
Yeah. So I saw some stat on Gronk. It was like that first week he had like 130 yards and a touchdown, and you're thinking, oh, it's a classic Gronk game. Whatever, that's Gronk. So if you were to take out that week 1 performance and you go weeks 2 onward, he's like tight end 14 on the year. So he's not playing very good. Just some numbers for the Packers defense. They're pretty tough against the tight ends. So the Packers have actually allowed 0 touchdowns to the tight end. So that's kind of alarming, seeing as how Gronk's not getting any fucking touchdowns. The Packers give up 0 touchdowns. And they've also given up the 8th fewest receptions to tight ends the Packers have. So kind of a tough matchup for Gronk.
It's just so hard, man, because it's like, do you really bench a healthy Gronk?
You're definitely not benching it, but it's just, man, this...
See, because like I'm in a situation, I'm in a league, and I have O.J. Howard and Gronk. And last week I just said, screw it, and I put Gronk in my tight end, and I put O.J. Howard in my flex. And I think I'm going to do it again this week.
Yeah.
Just because it's like you don't want to bench Gronk, but then you hear those numbers, you're like, shoot, dude, I could throw...
It's just, like here's the thing with Gronk.
So you're
starting him every week because the tight ends, unless you have like that, that's a crazy scenario. You got 2 good tight ends, but for most people, if you have Gronk, you just have Gronk and that's it. You know, so you're starting him. Nothing would be worse than if you sit Gronk and then he comes out and he has like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. You would fucking hate your life. Yeah, you would hate your life more if he put up like 20 points on the bench compared to scoring 4 points in the lineup. You're gonna be pissed
because then you're just like, well, it's Gronk, I have to play him.
Yeah, So you're starting Gronk. Just know that it is kind of a tough matchup. But, I think this is going to be a shootout. I think.
All right, say you have Gronk in your flex. Would you throw Cortland Sutton in there instead?
I'd probably go Sutton. Yeah. Because Sutton's seeing end zone targets and Gronk is not seeing any end zone targets. It's crazy.
Okay, no, right there.
Asking for a friend?
Asking for a friend.
But, it'd be hard to sit Gronk. How do you sit him?
Exactly.
It's so bad. So, defensive wise, you're not starting either of these defenses. So jump over to the Packers side of the ball. Aaron Rodgers, discount, double check it all day.
Love it. He's been hobbling on that knee.
So finally, Aaron Jones, he should, they're
saying that they want to give him the lead role there.
Yeah, they're taking the shackles off. They traded Ty Montgomery. They're like, hey, you fumble, you're traded. So.
And Ravens are like, we love fumble running backs. Come on, dog.
We'll give you a 7th rounder. So yeah, that backfield was pretty much a 3-man committee. It was, I think Anthony said the snap percentage was like pretty much 30%, 33%.
33.
Yeah, it's pretty much 33% across the board for all 3 of these running backs. So they're seeing a third of the place. So no Ty Montgomery. That leaves Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones only.
I feel like it's going to be a 60-40.
60-40, maybe even like we'll see if it's a 70-30 Aaron Jones here. We'll see. This is the first real game without him, and we'll see. But man, yeah, Aaron Jones, the sky's the limit for that guy. Solid RB2 down the stretch. Definitely starting him. Jamal Williams would be a sneaky flex guy here just because you don't know how much run he's going to get.
Yeah, I picked him up.
And I think he did actually vulture the goal line carry from Aaron Jones last week. But carry-wise, I think Aaron Jones had like way, way more carries than Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams only like 4 carries. Aaron Jones had like 15 or 16 carries, something like that. So just a sneaky play right there, Jamal Williams. Pick up Jamal Williams too, just even if you're stashing him, just because, let's just say for some reason if Aaron Jones got hurt.
Yeah, it's a good handcuff. And it's a handcuff that you can actually throw in your flex and be confident a little bit on.
Yeah. So receivers here, Devontae Adams. He's going to see a shadow from Stephon Gilmore, he's been really good this year. Stephon Gilmore is one of like the better corners in the league. So I'm not worried about it though. Devontae Adams is just, I was super high on him in
Balling.
draft season. Yeah, he's just balling. And in this game's going to be a shootout. I'm not worried about Devontae Adams. It's definitely dialing him up. A name I want to touch on is MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So
don't play Geronimo this week.
yeah, got an alert today. Says Geronimo Allison, he tweaked his groin or something like that. But then he's also nursing a hamstring injury. So they said they don't know if he's going to play or not. So this kind of just depends if Allison misses.
It sounds like it.
It sounds like he's going to miss. So this was the snap percentage last week for the wide receiver. So you had Devontae Adams at 77% because he's the number one there. But then you had MVS at 60%, Allison at 58%, and Cobb actually played the least amount of snaps at 46%. So if you were to take Allison out of the equation, I think MVS jumps into that second wide receiver. It would be Devontae Adams, then MVS, and then Cobb. And then some numbers on MVS here. The last 3 weeks, he's had 19.8, 13.3, and 12.5. So 12 plus PPR points in three straight weeks. So he's a guy where I didn't really have a flex in 2 of my leagues. I was taking a crapshoot on some guys, some random names I can't even remember. I got that alert. Geronimo Allison's going to be gone. I was like, man, like I said, I want every piece I can get in this game. So I went out. I snagged Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I'm holding on to him. I have him in my flex right now, but I'm just waiting to see. I want to get the confirmation that Allison's out. I mean, even if he's not out, I can't imagine him being 100%. You know, he just tweaked his groin. His hamstring's fucked up. Cobb's still kind of battling an injury. He's obviously not 100%. He's getting older.
The way he's been out with previous injuries, I can imagine him not playing.
Yeah. And, I mean, MVS, Rodgers is targeting him. It's not like he's not giving him the ball.
Yeah.
And this is a guy, he's tall. He's like 6'4". He runs like a 4.3, 540, like crazy fast.
Like 6 foot Groot?
Yeah, he's 6 foot Groot, but better. Definitely, if you have a dynasty, if you don't already have him in your dynasty league, go get him and make sure he's on your team in your dynasty. But sneaky start right here. He could end up finishing, in the top 20 wide receiver. Like I said, this over-under is 56.5 points. And I think this is a classic shootout, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, especially if Allison's out, I love Marquez Valdez-Scantling this week. Randall Cobb, if he's playing, just monitor that. If he's playing, for sure, got to throw him in there. Wide receiver 3, flex guy, just because, like I said, this is such a high over-under. Geronimo Allison, that one's tricky. If he's playing, I don't know how confident I would feel with him nursing injuries.
I like you would say, I'd be fading Geronimo Allison this week.
Yeah, I think last week he had one for 16 yards, one catch for 16 yards, and he played nearly 60% of the snaps. So I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable with him. Jimmy Graham, how do you feel about him? I mean, tight end's so thin. I feel like you got to play.
Yeah.
So
I like Jimmy Graham.
Just some numbers on the Patriots defense when they're against the tight ends. I would definitely be dialing up Jimmy G with confidence. Jimmy Graham. So the Patriots,
Other Jimmy G.
Yeah, the Jimmy G. So the Patriots have allowed 5 touchdowns to the tight end position so far this year, and that's tied most in the NFL. And the Patriots also rank bottom 10 in yards and receptions allowed to the tight end. So not very good at defending the tight end. Jimmy G, definitely dialing him up this week with confidence. Like I said, I want every piece I can get in this game, especially through the air, especially the passing attack.
6 worse.
Yeah. So, do you want to just touch on the Monday night game since we're here?
No. We're at like 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck. All right.
Well, I kind of like we'll maybe like talk about the games.
Okay.
For the Monday night game.
For sure.
So if you guys want to listen to the Monday night game, go check us out on our Instagram. We'll post a little bonus episode there for the Monday night game.
For sure, yeah. This one kind of took long. We just tried to break it down.
We just did all this time just to get it all done with. Every single matchup, game breakdown. We're out here. Anything else you want to touch on? Do you want to touch me or do you want to touch?
Yeah, when we get done with this, off air.
Chill. All right.
Just follow us at @AverageBros_fantasy_football. We're on Instagram mainly. We got the Twitter. We got these other things, but
we mostly just on the Twitter. We just post well, at least I do. I post on it and like, oh God, this guy. Anytime that anything stupid happens, I just kind of comment on it.
But yeah, just see if you got any, stardom, sit-em questions, some trade advice. We're gonna do it. I want to do a trade episode where we do like people to try to sell high or buy low on, or trade for. based on their matchups coming forward. Because like I said, you're trying to prepare your team for the playoffs now. It's week 14, 15, 16. You're just trying to get in the playoffs, and then it's a 3-game season. Anyone can win, and you're just trying to get the players with the best matchups in those.
I think in the next week or two, we need to do a playoff picture game. We're trying to make trade. I just think it's important. We need to make some trade advice.
Yeah.
Who to play? Who has good playoff matchups?
Yeah, for sure.
So look forward to that coming soon. But maybe after this week, the week after.
For sure.
Try and get ahead of the curve on these playoff pictures. Thanks for listening. This was episode 28. We out.
Deuces.
What does Anthony always do at the end? He always does something.
I don't know. Anthony's got full-blown AIDS.
Full blown. Bye.